The following is a presentation of Homestead High School Athletics.
Curry trying to get inside, nothing there. Step back, open three, it's gone! Todd Curry knocks it down! Spartans win! Spartans win!
2 seconds left, Swanigan for three! Yes, sir! Swanigan with the three to win it! Are you kidding me?
2 seconds, 1 second, it's over! The Spartans are state champions for the first time in school history!
Now it's time for Homestead High School Sports on the Point 91 FM.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome live to Bankers Life Fieldhouse in Indianapolis, Indiana for tonight's Class 4A Girls Basketball State Championship, featuring the 27-2 number 2 ranked Homestead Spartans, who are coached by Rod Parker, who's in his 16th season at Homestead, and the 24-3 number 4 ranked Pike Red Devils, who are coached by Bob Anglia, who's in his 6th season at Pike. Hello once again, everyone. I'm Austin Render alongside Matt Schreck, and we are just about an hour away from tip-off. But for now, let's start the Indiana-Michigan Power Game Day show. And Matt, what's a better way to start an hour-long game day show than revisiting the run that the Spartans are on? One that started in their own gymnasium, winning sectionals convincingly with 3 lopsided defeats to win their 4th straight sectional championship. Then Homestead traveled to Kokomo, where they defeated number 3 Zionsville and avenged their regular season loss to Carmel by defeating the number 5 ranked Greyhound 63-59 to win their 3rd straight regional championship. And they capped off the trip with a win last week over Northridge in semi-state up at Crown Point 63-40 to make their second trip in 3 years here to Bankers Life Fieldhouse. This journey has not been easy for the Homestead Spartans. Some tough, highly contested games, regular season into the postseason, but they're here again to play for another state championship.
Well, Austin, at the beginning of the season, this team, they wanted to go back right here to Bankers Life Fieldhouse. That was the goal, state or bust for this team, and they have done just that. They're playing their best basketball of the season, coming off a big win in semi-state and some even bigger wins facing some top 5 opponents in regionals. This team has fought and scratched their way here to Bankers Life for the second time in 3 seasons, and they're ready to avenge that loss 2 years ago against Columbus North. Some of these seniors on this team got some playing time in that game. They're going to come out here tonight and take it to the Pike Red Devils, but this team they've played well all season long. Only 2 losses on the season, coming to Carmel and Huber Heights Wayne, both in overtime. Homestead avenged that loss to Carmel in regionals. This team, they're playing well on both sides of the basketball, sharing it well, and Carissa McLaughlin is scoring the basketball at a high level. This team is going to be hard to beat, and they're here to fight for a 4A state title.
And really, you have to look, if you're going to talk about the journey that the Homestead Spartans have taken to get to this point, you almost have to look back to a year ago when Homestead lost in semi-state to the Penn Kingsmen, who went on to win the state championship. But for Homestead, that kind of provided the momentum, the spark. Obviously, you never want to lose, especially in the postseason. But for Homestead, that loss kind of gave these seniors the kick in the butt where, hey, if we don't get it done this year, this is our last chance. And it really has felt like that's been the drive and the motivation for the Spartans this season.
They've come out this season with a chip on their shoulder. They've been the favorites for most of the season to get back here, but they knew that nothing was going to be given to them. Last season, they lost to Penn in semi-state, and many thought that Homestead was favored in that matchup and should have gone on to state, but they lost that one. The seniors realized we have to get better as a group. They did in the offseason. They come out and they play well throughout the entire regular season, and going into the postseason, they're playing at a really high level. And now here at Bankers Life, this team, because of that loss a year ago, that extra motivation has gotten them back here, and it's really a credit to all of the seniors on this squad.
And you have to think that for these seniors, there was so much pressure on them this year to win. There's so much pressure because of not only what they would put on themselves, knowing they want to get the job done, but people in the media around the area and Homestead's community they wanted Homestead to get that win because you knew this was a talented team the last couple of years. And looking at this senior class, so many people were saying this is it. This is your chance if you're Homestead to get it done. So much pressure. Now that they're here, it kind of feels like talking to them at practice this week, that pressure is lifted off of them. They got here to this point, but obviously they still want to get the job done.
Yeah, they do. And playing with pressure the entire season, they have performed well playing under that pressure. There really weren't days where this team took a night off because they play so well defensively at that end of the floor. That kind of helped them even when they had tough shooting nights. And this team, the players off the bench especially, have learned their role to complement these 4 seniors in the starting lineup for this group. And they played exceptionally well up to this point. And now that they're here at Bankers Life, they have a lot of confidence in their ability to come out and try and compete for a 4A state title. And obviously, that's just a weight off your shoulders, having not been able to do that a year ago.
Obviously, this is a big day for all schools involved. The 1A, 2A played this morning. The 3A is wrapping up in front of us right now. And for Homestead, those underclassmen now getting their first taste of a state championship. Girls like Madison Parker, Kristen McLaughlin played in the state championship 2 years ago. Taryn Klein, Jasmine Geis were a part of the team that year as well. But these underclassmen, this is their first taste, and you know butterflies could definitely be present for those younger kids.
Well, it's such an asset for this Homestead team to have 4 seniors out there that can lead the way here in a state championship, especially Madison Parker, Kristen McLaughlin, having played in this environment before. So obviously some butterflies for those younger players. Haven't been here. It's a really big environment. A lot of fans have come out to support both sides. So they're going to have to get used to the environment quickly. And it's going to start maybe the first few minutes of that first quarter. There'll be some butterflies. But after that, the Homestead seniors will probably set the example for this team. And then those role players have to step up, fill the roles that they've been filling all season long.
So the 4A Girls Basketball State Championship, which will unfold in front of us in just about an hour from now, as Homestead, ranked number 2 in the state, will take on the number 4 Pike Red Devils, who we'll talk about later on in this Indiana-Michigan Power Game Day show. But we're going to take our first break. When we come back, you'll hear from the 7 Spartans, all the role players, the starters as well, who we had some fun with talking at practice this week, as well as they discussed their journey to this point, as well as each other's talents or lack thereof. So stay tuned. You're listening to the home of the 2017 4A Girls Basketball State Championship, The Point, 91 FM.
Moe's Southwest Grill, located at 6739 West Jefferson Boulevard next to Dunkin' Donuts and Baskin Robbins. You can contact Moe's by dialing 969-MOE's, or for catering, that number is 969-EATS. Moe's specializes in Southwestern food like burritos, tacos, and nachos, with no microwaves or freezers. You can visit Moe's online at moes.com. Thank you, Moe's, for supporting the Point 91 FM and being a proud sponsor of Homestead High School athletics coverage on our station.
Marco's Pizza, located at 10345 Illinois Road inside the shops of Scott Road. Marco's specializes in pizza, cheesy bread, subs, salads, and many other menu items. You can place an order for delivery or carry out by calling 625-6800. That number once again is 625-6800. You can also order online at marcos.com. Thank you, Marcos, for supporting the Point 91 FM and being a proud sponsor of Homestead High School athletics coverage on our station.
Tonight's game will be the final game for the Homestead seniors wearing a Spartan uniform, and those seniors reflected on some of the memories that will stand out to them as they continue on in their collegiate careers.
You know, there's a lot of good memories we've created over the years, but one specifically for us seniors was, we were at the state game 2 years ago, and I know that is still a big one that sticks with us, even till today. So the fact that we get to play in another one tomorrow, that kind of just shows that that's going to be one of the biggest memories we're going to have. But let's see, also to kind of pick a couple, this past summer we went to Kings Island as a team, and that was quite the adventure, with everyone on our team and just, different personalities. And then also this year we went to Ohio. But I definitely say some of the best memories have been with the team this year, my senior year. So
I definitely think the relationships within the girls, like the bus rides after a win or after a loss especially, we don't always keep our heads down. We always stay focused on the next game even if we do lose, and then we celebrate when we win.
Honestly, probably like this year and like sophomore year, and just like building relationships that we've all created, the friendships that last a lifetime, and being able to experience this year, again, with such amazing people, is probably one of my favorite memories.
I think this year as a whole, it was our senior year, and we've accomplished a lot. We've made it back to state, and we've won some big games over the course of the season. So I think, this year specifically, but all 4 years have been great.
As has been well documented, this team is led by many seniors, 4 in the starting lineup, and those underclassmen have looked up to these seniors for guidance and advice as the season has gone on.
The most important thing that they've helped me with is probably my confidence. They're always boosting me on the court and knowing that I'm out there for a reason, and they're just like really encouraging.
The seniors have helped me a lot with on and off the court. They've been great role models for me this year, and they've been great friends for me also.
All 4 seniors have taught me something different. Chris has helped me with shooting, Maddie's helped me with my confidence, Jasmine's helped me with a lot of post moves. But overall, they've really pushed their team together, and they've built really great team chemistry on the court.
Coach Parker and Coach Garman have had a lasting impact on the seniors, who looked back at what these coaches have helped them with the most over the span of their last 4 years.
I think the most memorable thing is just that I've got to experience 4 years worth of, basketball and opportunities like with him. Like the fact that he got to be there with me along the way, like each step of my journey. My freshman year, and then obviously state 2 years ago, and then my recruiting process, and then this year by having my younger sister on the team too. I think it's neat that he was just with me, every step of the way, and I'm excited for my sister because even though, we have ups and downs with my dad, she's going to get that same experience.
Next play definitely is one of the big things. Like, don't dwell on your mistakes. Just move on to the next play and stay focused on one game at a time is a big thing that he always preaches. You can't look forward too much onto the next game. You got to play one game at a time.
Coach Garman and Coach Parker are great mentors for me, and I think all my other teammates. They're not only just coaches, but they're role models for us who that we can talk about anything about life that we ever need advice for. Coach Parker, he's really helped me become an even better player than I am. He's helped me make the transition from middle school to high school a lot easier. And I'll definitely take some of his advice, moving on to the next level. And, he's a really intelligent guy, so I'm really fortunate to have played under him and Coach Garman. And Coach Garman, he's always kind of the guy to lighten the mood a little bit, bring some humor to the scene. So he's always such a fun guy to be around.
He's taught so much, he's definitely emphasized being positive and lifting each other up, emphasizing the little details and the fundamentals, definitely, In the end, fundamentals usually help us win games, making good passes, getting our shots, and in the end, being positive and lifting each other up.
This is the first opportunity for those underclassmen to get to play in a state championship, and obviously with a state championship comes nerves and butterflies, and these underclassmen are trying to fight those by thinking about this game as just another normal game.
Coach Parker has told us that this state game is just another game and that we need to go out and give it our all.
I've just been thinking it's just a game, and I just have to do what I do, and I have to look at my teammates.
It's just like another game. Except it's the state championship. So we have to make sure that I've been dreaming about it all this week, thinking about different outcomes, different defensive, offensive plays, scenarios that might happen.
Over 1,000 tickets have been sold in the Homestead community and the students this week, and that means a lot to the girls who know that they will have the Homestead community backing them in the biggest game of the year.
It's been awesome to see the support that, not only the school has given us, but the entire community, to see a lot of our feeder program teams making signs and stuff like that, and then also teachers in the school, and the fact that the number came out and it's over 1,000, that's just crazy to know that people are willing to come and support us and be a part of hopefully what can be an amazing experience tomorrow night.
It means a lot, especially this second time around. The community has had our back the first time, but especially the second time, a lot more people have bought in tickets. So it's just nice to know that the community has our back and is going to support us at Bankers Life.
This is why we do it, is to support it's in honor of all of our community, and knowing that, they've supported us all year and they've been to as many games as possible, but to see all the other people, all the younger kids who are going to be there, just the entire community between, teachers and just people who follow us throughout the year who may not have been able to go to a game, but now they're able to finally make it to the state final game and, see hopefully history be made. And it's such a phenomenal feeling knowing that we have all the support behind our back.
It's awesome. It's a great feeling, having their support, and it makes us more excited, to showcase what we have, and just knowing that everyone's in support of us and rooting for us, definitely gives us a lot of positive energy and makes us really excited.
We decided to play a little game with the girls on the basketball team to try and see how well they know their 4 seniors who will be graduating this year.
Who's the best dancer?
Carissa.
Definitely Carissa.
Carissa. Carissa.
Carissa.
Carissa.
I think I'm the best dancer.
Who is the best singer?
Jasmine.
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 Me.
If you went out to eat after a game, who's the first one who's going to be done with their meal?
Oh, am I included in this?
Probably Maddie.
Maddie.
Me.
Jasmine.
Maddie.
Jasmine's.
Who out of the 4 seniors, who's the funniest?
Taryn.
Me.
Taryn.
Jasmine.
They're all funny. I can't pick one.
Jasmine.
Jasmine's.
At team parties, bus rides, or dinners, who's the loudest?
Jasmine.
Carissa, definitely.
Jasmine.
Jasmine.
Can I switch?
Yeah.
Maddie.
Jasmine.
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 Who has the best pregame handshake?
Well, it used to be Jasmine, but then she had to switch it up. So now I'd say probably, maybe still Jasmine.
Taryn and I.
Jasmine.
Me and Jasmine.
Haley and I.
Carissa.
Carissa.
Stay tuned right here on the Point 91 FM as we continue to lead you closer to the tip-off of the 4A Girls Basketball State Championship between the Homestead Spartans and the Pike Red Devils. Stay tuned, you're listening to the home of Homestead Spartan Basketball, the Point 91 FM.
Today we decided to walk to school. The light counted. 15, 14.
31? I mean, 13?
We took a left on Carroll Street. Danny's smart, but he gets distracted. He realized he forgot his homework. I hope he doesn't have another bad day at school.
When you can see learning and attention issues from their side, you can be on their side. That's why there's Understood.org, a free resource for the parents of the 1 in 5 kids with learning and attention issues. Go from misunderstanding to Understood.org. Brought to you by Understood and the Ad Council.
Jimmy John's Gourmet Sandwiches, located at 6727 West Jefferson Boulevard. Menus and online ordering available at jimmyjohns.com. You can also contact for delivery or pickup by phone at 469-7827. Jimmy John's on West Jefferson Boulevard, a proud sponsor of Homestead High School athletics coverage on our station.
And now let's head back out to the gymnasium for more exciting Homestead Spartan basketball action right here on the Point 91 FM or online at WCYT.org.
Welcome back to Bankers Life Fieldhouse in downtown Indianapolis, Indiana for tonight's Class 4A Girls Basketball State Championship featuring the number 4 Pike Red Devils and the number 2 Homestead Spartans. I'm Austin Render alongside Matt Schreck, our sideline reporters. Garrett Willis and Gabe Smith will join us later on in the broadcast. As we continue on to the Indiana-Michigan Power Game Day show, the celebrations for the 3A State Championship happening in front of us right now. We're getting closer to the 4A State Championship, and let's continue to talk about the Homestead Spartans side of things. Obviously, you can't talk about Homestead without talking about the 4 seniors. Their leadership this season has been superb, helping those younger girls like a Kara Geely, a Haley Swing, a Sydney Graber, but Homestead just could not be here without those 4 seniors anchoring the lineup, and I'm sure Coach Parker every day is thankful for that group of girls.
They've provided a lot to this Homestead program over the course of their careers here at Homestead, and especially this season, leading the way, setting the example for the younger girls in practice, in the games, and they could even each other out. When Carissa wasn't shooting well, Madison Parker would be able to come through for this team. Jasmine Geist has been a force down low, and Taryn Klein has provided that defensive intensity out there on the floor, as well as knocking down a few 3 balls, getting the ball inside. This team would not be the same without these 4 senior leaders, and it's really a really big reason why they're here facing a 4A state championship appearance. It's just incredible to see this group work so well together. They share the basketball well. They run the offense well. Coach Rod Parker, it's been really great for him to have this group of seniors, especially leading up to a 4A state championship. They can set the tone for this team early on.
Well, yeah, we talked earlier about the leadership, being that Carissa and Madison have both played in this game before. Although not coming out on the right side of things, they've at least been here before. They know what the moment is like, and that's something that's invaluable. I mean, you look at Pike, none of their players, their program has never been to an event like this, and Coach Parker even said last time they were here, it felt like at the beginning it was the, wow, we're happy to be here moment, and I'm sure Pike will have that as well, but I know it's a top 4 matchup. You don't want to talk about everything being experience-driven, but it can't hurt Homestead to have a few girls that are very experienced compared to Pike, who's a all inexperienced team when it comes to state championships.
Well, Homestead is going to count on players like Chris McLaughlin, Madison Parker to set the tone early on the offensive end, defensively, to show those underclassmen what it's like to be in a state championship. And I'm sure their message to their teammates is you have to play in the moment, because if you try and you get caught up in all of the emotions and all of the expectations coming into this tonight. Yes, you want to have fun, play out there because you've made it this far. You want to have fun, but also you don't want to be going home on the bus upset because you didn't go out in the first quarter and play your best basketball, and then you're sitting at a runner-up trophy instead of that championship trophy. For this Homestead team, having those two players in Madison Parker and Chris McLaughlin who have played in a state championship before 2 years ago, it is definitely invaluable for this team. And for Pike, they had their first regional semi-state and now their first chance at their first state championship here tonight. So for this Pike team, a lot of inexperience. They have a lot of talented players, though, but for Homestead experience, they have the upper hand, and that is going to be important for them here, especially in that first quarter.
And of course, you can't talk about the seniors without talking about the Florida signee, Carissa McLaughlin, averaging 26 a game this season, 28 in the postseason alone, and she has just been that undeniable leader for Homestead. The postseason, she's just put the team on her back at times and just led them through the toughest parts of the season. And obviously, they're going to need her again tonight. 2 years ago, she struggled in this building for the Homestead Spartans. She was just 3 of 14 for the field, including 1 of 7 from beyond the arc. But 2 years of maturing for Carissa McLaughlin, and here she is leading the team with a chance to make some ripples again.
She is much improved from 2 years ago in that Columbus North game here at Bankers Life. She's added so much to her game, and it's hard to do when you're such a great player. And she's improved on the offensive end, creating her own shot, and defensively picking the pockets of opponents and then getting out in the fast break. So Carissa McLaughlin, a much improved player. She's worked so hard over her 4-year career here at Homestead. One of the best players to ever come through this program. So it's Rod Parker, it's invaluable to have a player like that out there on the floor. She's had that look in her eye a couple times this postseason where she's just decided she's going to score the basketball and nobody's going to stop her. And that's what she's going to try and do here tonight, especially when this Homestead offense starts to get a little stagnant. I'm sure you'll see Carissa McLaughlin carrying a bunch of that offensive load.
And while she has been incredible, obviously there's no denying that for Carissa McLaughlin. There's some arguments to be made that the most valuable player in this postseason for Homestead has been Jasmine Geist. Up to her point totals per game in the postseason, rebound totals per game, and she has just attacked the glass very well. And you see how important she is to the team, because when she fouled out against Carmel, they made that huge surge to get back into that ball game. So obviously, Jasmine Geist has upped her play in the postseason and has helped Homestead tremendously on the glass.
Yeah, and she's helped them balance out their offense. Homestead shoots a lot of three-point shots, but they also have the ability to go down low to players like Jasmine Geist, and she's able to fight through contact a lot of times, especially going up against some taller players down low. And obviously on the glass, she's working to get every single rebound down there. And against Northridge at semi-state last week, she was just acting like a player possessed. She would not be stopped on the boards, looking to get every single rebound available to her. And that's going to be really important for this Homestead team tonight. And she's playing her best basketball at the right time. And it's just another element to this Homestead offense that Pike has to account for.
Obviously, it's a state championship, so Homestead's going to need all of their seniors to step up and their role players to play their roles. That's going to be very important. But obviously, they're going to need Carissa McLaughlin to score her points. And for the Homestead Spartans, she has been the leader this year. And for more on this incredible talent that's going to Florida next year, Garrett Willis dove deeper into the career of Carissa as well as her relationship with her teammates and coaches. You'll hear that right after this quick break, so stay tuned. You're listening to the home of the 2017 4A Girls Basketball State Championship, The Point, 91 FM.
Three Rivers Federal Credit Union. When you choose Three Rivers for your financial needs, from car loans to student loans, credit cards to savings accounts, and everything in between, you're doing more than just investing in yourself. You're supporting community, innovation, empowerment, education, momentum, culture, progress, and so much more. Let's build a stronger community together. Learn more at threeriversfcu.org/community.
Moe's Southwest Grill, located at 6739 West Jefferson Boulevard next to Dunkin' Donuts and Baskin Robbins. You can contact Moe's by dialing 969-MOE's, or for catering, that number is 969-EATS. Moe's specializes in Southwestern food like burritos, tacos, and nachos, with no microwaves or freezers. You can visit Moe's online at moes.com. Thank you, Moe's, for supporting the Point 91 FM and being a proud sponsor of Homestead High School athletics coverage on our station.
The past 4 years have been some of the most successful in the history of Homestead girls basketball, as 4 straight sectionals, 2 regionals, and a state runner-up have all come to the trophy cases in the halls of Homestead High School. But one thing that the trophy cases cannot hold is the commitment of one Homestead Spartan, who could arguably be the most successful athlete in Homestead school history. This athlete is Florida Gator signing Carissa McLaughlin.
McLaughlin, a step back three on its way. That's good. McLaughlin, a screen from swing. Now pulls up for a three on the right side. That's good. McLaughlin 1 point away from 2,000. She gets the ball in the right wing. McLaughlin attacks the basket, pulls up for a jumper, knocks it down. 2,000 points for Carissa McLaughlin, the first Spartan in Homestead history to do so.
Carissa McLaughlin has had an interest in the game of basketball from a very young age, when her father Bert McLaughlin would take her to his high school basketball team practices.
When she was very little, I was a high school basketball coach at Central Noble when she was just starting to shoot and walk, and she would come to every single one of my practices. You know, I didn't force her to do anything, and that's part of the thing that I think a lot of people don't understand is just her work ethic. I never had to tell her to do anything, even at the age of 4, 5, and 6. She just picked up a ball and she loved it.
McLaughlin has signed her letter of intent to play basketball in Gainesville, Florida next year, as she will become the first girls player in Homestead's history to play basketball in the Southeastern Conference. Carissa says that she knew she would become a Florida Gator when she first stepped onto the campus, and this started her college journey.
The summer going into my junior year is when they first saw me play up at Nike Nationals in Georgia. Right when they were able to contact me, they contacted me right away, and Coach Butler said that there's something really special about you right when I saw you. Honestly, she saw me first in my defense, and then she saw how I could shoot and do other things. And then just the relationship that I built with them so quickly was I knew there was something special going on at Florida, and I knew that might be something that I wanted to be a part of. I just wanted to be here. I did not want to leave. I just felt like this was going to be like my family.
The success this Homestead team has had over the past 4 years has been remarkable, as McLaughlin has gone 96-10 in her Homestead career, along with being the 38th player to score 2,000 points in Indiana high school basketball history. With this, McLaughlin has also become the only player for Homestead to ever score 2,000 points for both the boys and girls teams. 4 straight sectional titles, 2 regional titles, and a state finals appearance in 4 years would be smashing success for any other program in the state. But not having won a state title has been tough for Coach Rod Parker and the Spartans, as McLaughlin and her teammates believe they have been good enough the past 3 years to take home a state title.
When you make deep tournament runs, as we have the last 3 years, it obviously gives your kids tournament experience. When you come up just short, it gives you, I guess, motivation. So I think it's helped inspire some work in the offseason by the 4 seniors that we have this year. And, the big thing is they're hungry. They want to take it to the next level. And they're smart kids. They understand that in 4A, with the schedule that we play and the road that we have to take to get to the state finals, that there's a lot of good teams there. There's great competition. And it comes down to just probably a few possessions and a few big games.
Reflecting on our loss at semi-state last year versus Penn, it was definitely a tough loss. We were in it the whole game, but it motivated us to take the summer and just reflect on it and get better in the positions that we thought that we were weak, and continue to grow as a team and make our team chemistry stronger than it's ever been.
McLaughlin is one of 4 senior leaders on this team, as Madison Parker, Taryn Klein, and Jasmine Geis have all signed to play basketball in college next year. While all of these players had developed chemistry on the court, they have also taken their friendships off the court and experienced the journey of high school together.
All of my teammates, they have grown me into the player I am today. Every day in practice, having different players, guard me and push me. We never leave each other satisfied. We always have to say that we always have something to get better on.
This year's been a great team to coach, and it starts with leadership. And those 4 seniors you just mentioned get along very well, not only on the court but off the court. And I think that's important. And the leadership that they provide, the overall program and the atmosphere that they've created has really allowed us to be successful this year. And it's been a joy to watch them. I guess the best way to say it would be enjoy each other's individual successes.
Having some of my best friends and some of my closest friends on the team with me has been such a memorable experience, knowing that I can talk to them about anything off the court. And having that relationship off the court, I think, really transitions to the way we play on the court, because we just know each other so well and we trust each other so well.
When many think of the history of Homestead Spartan basketball, they think of the names of Caleb Swanigan and Taj Curry. But Carissa McLaughlin's decorated 4-year career could put her into the conversation as maybe the most successful basketball player to ever put on a Homestead uniform. With 2,000 points, a state runner-up, and being in the running for Indiana Miss Basketball, it is hard to argue the facts that McLaughlin has left her mark on not just Homestead, but on the Fort Wayne community.
Marco's Pizza, located at 10345 Illinois Road inside the shops of Scott Road. Marco's specializes in pizza, cheesy bread, subs, salads, and many other menu items. You can place an order for delivery or carryout by calling 625-6800. That number once again is 625-6800. You can also order online at marcos.com. Thank you, Marcos, for supporting the Point 91 FM and being a proud sponsor of Homestead High School athletics coverage on our station.
Most of my family, they never graduated high school, so I'm trying to break that barrier. My daughter Brooklyn was also a motivation for me to go back to school. Every day after work, went straight to school, and it paid off.
At age 26, Kareem finished his high school diploma.
I could not have done it alone. I see the future is really bright for me.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
And now let's head back out to the gymnasium for more exciting Homestead Spartan basketball action, right here on the Point 91 FM or online at WCYT.org.
Welcome back to Bankers Life Fieldhouse. The 3A teams are filing out. The 4A coming on in as we get you ready for the Homestead Spartans and the Pike Red Devils in the Class 4A Girls Basketball State Championship. Coming up here in just about half an hour from now. I'm Austin Render alongside Matt Treck. Sideline reporters Garrett Willis and Gabe Smith will join us later on in the broadcast. And of course, a couple state champions crowned, the latest South Bend St. Joseph in 3A just in front of us. And as we get ready for the 4A state championship, we got to talk about the other team, the Pike Red Devils. This is a team a year ago. They got into an altercation with Ben Davis. Obviously, this is not one of Pike's brightest moments in their school history. Got into the fight, resulted in both teams' seasons being canceled. And Pike has rebounded, though. This year, they're 24-3. They're number 4 in the state. They upset the number 1 team in North Central. And with a coach back on the sidelines and Bob Anglia, who retired before last season, the fight happened. Season was canceled. He's back as their coach again for his 6th season. And Pike has turned things around, really using that fight as motivation to not let something like that happen again and create a new mantra for their team.
Pike has done a great job this season. After getting their season canceled last year, I'm sure that was hard for a lot of this team. But they have a lot of young talent led by Angel Baker on this team. And with Coach Bob Anglia back on the sideline, they have new motivation, like you mentioned, Austin. Only 3 losses on the season. They played in a lot of close ball games, 11 single-digit games for them this season compared to Homestead's 4. So they've been in some tough battles, especially in this postseason run, but they've got the job done each and every time out, and they're sitting here playing for a state championship, their first state championship appearance in school history.
Yeah, it hasn't been an easy road for Pike. You talk about Homestead, they kind of cruised through sectionals, dominated over Northridge and semi-state. Things a lot different for the Pike Red Devils. You look, they've played in 2 overtime games, one in their first game of the postseason, the sectional semifinals against Roncalli. Then they survived the scare from Ben Davis in the sectional championship, winning by 3. Then they upset the number 1 team in North Central in the regional championship in overtime. Then last week they escaped the 2-time Southern Semi-State champion Columbus North by winning by 3. They've won by 2, 3, 10, 2, and 3. It has been a very tight postseason for Pike, an average margin of victory of just 4 to Homestead's 24, which in some ways for the Red Devils could be a good thing.
Yeah, it is, and they know how to play down the stretch of ball games. They know how to face adversity, especially in the postseason, and it doesn't matter how you do it. As long as you get the win, that's all that matters, and they're sitting here playing for a state championship against Homestead, a team that has really dominated at parts of this postseason run for them. Pike, they know how to get the job done late, and they're going to be counting on some of those younger players that have no experience here playing at Bankers Life. I think it's going to take them a few minutes to get used to the atmosphere, but Pike is going to be competing for all 32 minutes because they could be sitting at home right now, especially after the first game of sectionals. They almost lost, but they found a way to get that job done in overtime, and they battled each and every time out, played in some overtime games. Homestead has struggled in overtime games, both losses coming in overtime for Homestead. So for this Pike team, they have a lot of experience playing in close games, so they're definitely going to have the upper hand if this game is close down the stretch in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, Pike is definitely battle-tested. You talk about this postseason, winning close games. That North Central game was crazy because North Central finished on a run to get it to overtime. Then in overtime, a 4-minute overtime period, North Central won the tip and held the ball for 3 minutes and 45 seconds before, with 15 seconds to play, Pike got a steal and a lay-in, the only basket of overtime. Then they got a steal with 5 seconds left to seal the deal, and Pike won 61-59. What an overtime that was for the Red Devils, who just had to defend for 3 minutes and 45 seconds, got the steal, the layup, and the win. And here they are, but we talked about it. This is their first time here, and we talked about it with the underclassmen for Homestead. There's going to be some jitters, some butterflies for this Pike Red Devil squad.
For Coach Anglia, that's going to be the emphasis early on, is getting those players some confidence playing in this environment, going up against a Homestead team that is the favorite in this one, so they can try and play the underdog role to get going early. But it just goes to show you that this team plays so hard in the defensive end in that North Central game, competing for 3 minutes and 45 seconds in overtime, stealing the ball, getting out and run, and finishing on the fast break. That's what they're going to hang their hat on, is defense for this game here tonight up against the Homestead team that has one of the best offenses in the state. But North Central knows that this Pike team very capable of shutting down offensive attacks.
That horn you just heard, the 20-minute clock has begun here for the 4A Girls Basketball State Championship. We're going to take a quick break, but when we come back, we will continue to set the scene as the Homestead Spartans get ready to take on the Pike Red Devils in the 4A State Championship. Stay tuned. You're listening to the home of Homestead Spartan Basketball, The Point, 91 FM.
Moe's Southwest Grill, located at 6739 West Jefferson Boulevard, next to Dunkin' Donuts, Baskin-Robbins. You can contact Moe's by dialing 969-MOE's, or for catering, that number is 969-EATS. Moe's specializes in southwestern food like burritos, tacos, and nachos, with no microwaves or freezers. You can visit Moe's online at moes.com. Thank you, Moe's, for supporting the Point 91 FM and being a proud sponsor of Homestead High School Athletics coverage on our station.
Three Rivers Federal Credit Union. When you choose Three Rivers for your financial needs, from car loans to student loans, credit cards, savings accounts, and everything in between, you're doing more than investing in yourself. You're supporting community, innovation, empowerment, education, momentum, culture, progress, and so much more. Let's build a stronger community together. Learn more at threeriversfcu.org/community.
Jimmy John's Gourmet Sandwiches, located at 6727 West Jefferson Boulevard. Menus and online ordering available at jimmyjohns.com. You can also contact for delivery or pick up by phone at 469-7827. Jimmy John's on West Jefferson Boulevard, a proud sponsor of Homestead High School athletics coverage on our station.
Marco's Pizza, located at 10345 Illinois Road inside the shops of Scott Road. Marco's specializes in pizza, cheesy bread, subs, salads, and many other menu items. You can place an order for delivery or carry out by calling 625-6800. That number once again is 625-6800. You can also order online at marcos.com. Thank you, Marcos, for supporting the .91 FM and being a proud sponsor of Homestead High School athletics coverage on our station.
And now let's head back out to the gymnasium for more exciting Homestead Spartan basketball action, right here on the .91 FM or online at wcyt.org.
Welcome back to Bankers Life Fieldhouse in downtown Indianapolis, Indiana. The 4A teams have taken the floor for their warm-ups as we're just about 17 minutes away from tipping off this 4A girls basketball state championship between the Homestead Spartans and the Pike Red Devils. I'm Austin Render alongside Matt Schreck, sideline reporters Garrett Willis, and Gabe Smith will join us periodically through the broadcast. And Matt, I mentioned earlier, Pike is playing in their first ever state championship. Homestead had that situation 2 years ago when they took on Columbus North, and they were defeated by Miss Basketball Allie Patberg in Columbus North. And what was a loss for Homestead? Obviously, that's a valuable experience because they had an 11-point lead in the third quarter of that game, and then Allie Patberg just took over. But Homestead can take, I'm sure, a lot out of that experience.
They can take a lot, and they can use the motivation from that loss. Players like Madison Parker, Krista McLaughlin telling their teammates of what it feels like to lose a state championship. It's not a good feeling. They don't want to feel that feeling again here tonight going up against a very talented Pike team. So for Homestead, using that experience to get off to an early start is going to be one of the big keys for them here tonight against a Pike team in their first ever state championship appearance.
This is an interesting building when you look for high school basketball because the shooting just has not been there today. We've watched 1A, 2A, and 3A all play, and the shooting has just all three classes, the 6 teams, have really struggled to shoot the basketball today. And you look at when Homestead came here 2 years ago, they struggled to shoot the basketball. Against Ron Colley last year in the regular season, they struggled to shoot the basketball. They passed up an opportunity earlier this year to play Greenfield Central here in this building. Coach Parker wanted it to be a home game and obviously got a good crowd for that game, but passed up a chance here to get some reps in this building. But it's a place that teams have struggled to shoot the ball, which is just kind of odd, but it's just something that's happened. But Coach Parker said it best, and you'll hear it later in his interview, that, hey, Pike has to shoot here too. So it's not like there's an advantage for either team.
Well, you'd have to think that Pike might have a little bit of an upper hand because they don't necessarily put a lot of shots up. They like to play defense for long periods of time and slow things down offensively. So that's definitely going to help Pike out, especially early on if both sides can't shoot well. That allows Pike to kind of gain some confidence because they haven't been in this situation before. And obviously Coach Parker passing up on the opportunity to come down and play a game here earlier this season. And I think that partly because he wanted this moment to be special for his team. If they got here to be able to experience this as the first time for some of these players to play in a state championship here in this building, he didn't want to take that moment away from them earlier on in the season. And it's going to be a special one here tonight, but they're going to have to focus in. Both teams are going to have to try and get comfortable shooting the basketball. Jump shots, I think, are going to be a little bit at a premium tonight, but we'll see if Carissa McLaughlin, Madison Parker, players that have played in this situation before, are able to get comfortable because they played here 2 seasons ago. Obviously, the team practiced earlier this week, got some shots up. I'm sure that was a point of emphasis, but it's going to probably come down to defense for both these teams in the fourth quarter.
Well, 2 teams that have played loaded schedules this year. Look at Pike has played 1 3A school, and that was against Heritage Christian, one of the best 3A schools out there. Homestead's played some tough games as well, so both coaches have to feel like they're battle-tested. They've been through these jitter-type games, these big competitive games, and Coach Parker has taken the mindset of, guys, this is no different than the intensity of the regional championship against Carmel. He said this is a big game, but it's just like big games we've played this year. So both coaches loaded their schedule for this reason right here.
Coach Anglia and Coach Parker both believe that they put their team in nearly every situation possible throughout this season, going up against great teams each and every night out. Homestead in the SAC, a loaded conference schedule, playing some tough teams. and also playing the likes of Carmel. So this team, both squads, know what it means to face adversity at times, and they've succeeded in doing so, especially Pike late down the stretch of this season, 2 overtime wins. So obviously Pike is looking to keep this game close for 4 quarters. Homestead likes to get out and get going early on, so we'll see which one takes care of themselves here tonight. Homestead wants to be able to get comfortable early, and like you mentioned, that Carmel game was really hyped up because Carmel had beaten Homestead earlier on this season. A new opponent here tonight. Homestead's just going to have to try and execute the game plan well, going up against an unfamiliar face in the Pike Red Devils.
Yeah, it's one of those things where for Homestead and for Pike, this is a big game, but it's not like they haven't been there before. But two contrasting styles, as you said. Homestead wants to get up and down the floor, while Pike wants to slow the game down. Generally, when those kind of contrasting styles play against each other, it's harder to speed a team up than it is to slow them down.
Yeah, it is. And Pike, I think, will like to be patient on the offensive end. They shoot 45% from the field as a team, so they work the ball around and get good looks at the basket. So Pike is going to try, and when they get out in the fast break, it will be off of turnovers. This team plays so hard defensively that they'll be able to tip the ball out, get out and run. That's what they did against North Central. That is what won them the ball game late. So they're going to try and do more of the same here tonight on the defensive end, create some offensive opportunities. But when it's not there, they're going to bring it back out, run their sets offensively. Homestead, obviously, once the ball goes through the basket, they're going to pick it up and go with it. And they like to get quick shots on the offensive end. Chris McLaughlin and Madison Parker, those three-point shooting threats for the Spartans, like to take those quick opportunities when they present themselves. So both teams, I think Pike's going to do a pretty good job of slowing things down. We've seen teams try to do that. Northridge tried to do that a little bit in the first half of the game last week, but Homestead just played so tough defensively. That's another thing. Homestead, so good on the defensive end here in the postseason, and going in here against another great defensive team, it's going to be a great matchup. Both teams battle-tested up to this point in the season, which we'll see which one gives here tonight.
Homestead and Pike, we're getting closer and closer, just about 10 minutes away from tip-off of the 4A Girls Basketball State Championship. But we will take one final break. When we come back, you'll hear my sit-down with Homestead Spartan head coach Rod Parker. So stay tuned. You're listening to the home of the 2017 4A Girls Basketball State Championship, The Point, 91 FM.
Three Rivers Federal Credit Union. When you choose Three Rivers for your financial needs, from car loans to student loans, credit cards, savings accounts, and everything in between, you're doing more than investing in yourself. You're supporting community, innovation, empowerment, education, momentum, culture, progress, and so much more. Let's build a stronger community together. Learn more at threeriversfcu.org/community.
Most of my family, they never graduated high school, so I'm trying to break that barrier. My daughter Brooklyn was also a motivation for me to go back to school. Every day after work, went straight to school, and it paid off.
At age 26, Kareem finished his high school diploma.
I could not have done it alone. I see the future is really bright for me.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
I'm here with the head coach, Homestead Spartans, Rod Parker, on the Indiana-Michigan Power Game Day Show. And Coach, is it last interview of the year? Let's start out by talking about last week's 63-40 win in semi-state. What were your thoughts?
Well, I thought we had a great outing last week against Northridge on both ends of the court. Defensively, I thought we were outstanding throughout that game, and offensively, I thought we were very efficient. And Chris McLaughlin and Jasmine Geis both had real big games for us.
You talk about Jasmine Geis. She's been incredible here in the postseason. What have been your thoughts of the way she's played since the postseason began?
Well, she's really stepped it up. I mean, all year she's been our best defensive presence in the post and a rebounder. And offensively, she's really played well the last 3 weeks of the season and into the postseason. So we're going to need another big effort from her tonight, most definitely on the glass and hopefully on the scoring column.
The defense has been incredible this postseason. We talk about Zionsville being held at 38. Carmel first half was really good. Northridge to 40. What's been changing defensively in the postseason?
Well, I think we've done a really good job in all facets defensively. I think we've rebounded well in the postseason. Our defensive transition's been very good, and we've done a pretty good job for the most part of containing the perimeter, probably in every quarter except for the last one against Carmel. So you put those three things together, I think we're really working hard as a team on the defensive end, and hopefully if we do it again tonight, we'll be in a position to win.
Coach Rod Parker of the Homestead Spartans joins me here on the Indiana-Michigan Power pregame show. And you were here 2 years ago, that being everyone's first trip to state. So now that you're in trial number 2, how'd you treat this week of practice differently than you did 2 years ago?
Well, we wanted to have fun this week. It is an exciting week for the kids, and it is a memorable one that not every kid gets a chance to experience. But we really emphasize it when we were on the court, when we practiced, the importance of being focused and understanding that we just weren't excited to be down here to participate this year. We're coming down here to win a state title. And so the kids, I think, have done a really good job of being focused, and they're going to go out there tonight and give it their best effort.
No, you got to play here 2 years ago in state championship, last year against Ron Colley. Now, so you've had a practice on Wednesday here. How do you feel like the girls are comfort-wise playing here at Bankers Life Fieldhouse?
Well, it's not the easiest place to play, there's no doubt, but Pike has to play here just like us tonight. And one of the things that we talked about, even today, is we've played in all kinds of gyms across the country over the last several years, in the summer from the best of Maryland to our schedule the last few years on the road. So we're just going to go out and treat it like any other game. It's the environment we're going to play in, and let's just take advantage of it.
Now, a lot of people have said that maybe had you not lost to Penn, this team wouldn't have come back with the same kind of drive and motivation. Do you feel like that loss kind of propelled them into we have to get it done this year?
I think it might have a little bit. I mean, probably the toughest thing was losing last year for these seniors of carrying the burden of needing to get back here, or having to get back down here again this year. And they've done that, and they've done a great job handling the pressure, the media, and the expectations of everybody in our community and within ourselves. And so they've done some great things, and they've been great leaders to the young kids in our program who have really stepped up here late in the season. So I told them tonight's just another one of those big games that we've played all year, and we need to treat it like just another one of those big games and go out there and play loose and have fun.
Coach Parker, the Homestead Spartans, joins me here on the Indiana-Michigan Power pregame show. Your opponent today is Pike, who's the same shoes as you were in 2 years ago, playing in their first state championship. They're number 3 in SAGRA, number 4 in the AP poll. What do you know about the Pike Red Devils?
Well, they're very athletic and they're very physical. So those are two things that are a little bit different than us. They can attack the basket very well. They average over 15 rebounds, offensive rebounds a game. So we're going to have to make sure that we do a great job rebounding the basketball today. We're going to have to contain their perimeter penetration, keep Angel Baker in check. And then on the offensive end, we're going to have to really execute and work as a team because they're a really good defensive team, and they close up gaps and close down shooters really quickly. So the ball is really going to have to move on our end of the court.
And we're talking about you having been here before. This is Pike's first time, but when it's 2 top 4 teams in state, do you see experience kind of serving as a factor tonight?
Yeah, well, I hope so because we have it. I'm not sure that at this point it really matters too much. Both teams are hungry. Both teams want to win. They're young student athletes who know how to compete, and they're going to go out and both teams are going to give it everything they have.
And Coach Parker, the Homestead Spartans, joins me here on the Indiana-Michigan Power pregame show. Obviously, this is as big as it gets for the girls' state championship. Some of those younger girls that weren't on the team 2 years ago, how'd you address to them in practice the butterflies that they could experience here today?
Well, hopefully our schedule this year helped prepare them a little bit because they played in some big basketball games. And really we kind of talked to them about the fact that it's really not much different than the regional games that we had in the semi-state game where it's, win or go home. It's just the environment's a little bit bigger here. And I'd like to think that they'll be able to settle themselves down into the game hopefully relatively quickly and then just go out and do their job, play their role, and have some fun.
Now, if Homestead wants to get their first state championship in girls basketball, what has to happen tonight?
Well, we have to take care of the ball in the offensive end against their defensive pressure. So we're going to have to limit our turnovers. We're going to have to keep the basketball moving to where we can get some open looks. We're going to have to shoot it confidently well in this arena tonight. And then on defense, we're just going to have to be really good as a team and force Pike to have to work to get their points.
All right, thanks, Coach, for your time. Good luck tonight.
Thank you very much.
That was the head coach, Homestead Spartans, Rod Parker. Will continue on the Indiana-Michigan Power pregame show shortly. You're listening to the home of Homestead Spartan basketball, The Point, 91 FM.
Marco's Pizza, located at 10345 Illinois Road inside the shops of Scott Road. Marco's specializes in pizza, cheesy bread, subs, salads, and many other menu items. You can place an order for delivery or carry out by calling 625-6800. That number once again is 625-6800. You can also order online at marcos.com. Thank you, Marcos, for supporting the Point 91 FM and being a proud sponsor of Homestead High School athletics coverage on our station.
Ferguson drives, floater rejected by Williams, out to Mangus, three-pointer, that's good! McLaughlin, a screen from Swing, now pulls up for a three on the right side, that's good!
You're listening to the home of Homestead Spartan Basketball, The Point 91 FM.
Parker Mangus, a between the legs dribble, spins inside, puts up a floater over the outstretched arm of Malik Williams. Right side Parker, three-pointer on its way, it's good! McLaughlin attacks the basket, pulls up for a jumper, knocks it down! 2,000 points for Carissa McLaughlin.
The tip is just moments away. Now here's the voice of Homestead Spartan Basketball, Austin Render.
Welcome back to Bankers Life Fieldhouse in downtown Indianapolis, Indiana. We're just moments away from the 4A Girls Basketball State Championship between the Homestead Spartans and the Pike Red Devils. I'm Austin Render alongside Matt Schreck. Our sideline reporters Garrett Willis and Gabe Smith will join us. And now we're going to bring in Garrett Willis. And before we get to our keys to the game, let's hear what Coach Parker was talking about with his team before the game. Garrett, what do you have for us?
Well, Austin, as you can imagine, there was a lot of energy within the locker room before tip-off here. A lot of players excited to be able to come out here to play for the state championship. But Coach Parker really focused on the point of limiting the offensive rebounds for Pike tonight, as that could be a really good way for them to get a lot of second-chance points. He wants them to have less than 7 offensive rebounds, and they have a couple of guards that usually average a couple a game. If they're able to do that, they really think they're going to play well on the defensive side of the ball. Along with that, he said to have no regrets tonight. It's cliche, everybody knows it, but if he feels that if they go out and play their hearts out tonight and don't have any regrets as they go off the floor tonight, he believes they have won no matter what the result is on the scoreboard.
All right, thanks, Garrett. And you think both teams, 32 more minutes left in your season. This is it. You got to give it all you have for the last 32 minutes of your season. Let's talk keys to the game for Homestead. Bounce off of what Garrett said. What do you think?
Well, it's going to be important for them to run their offensive sets. They're going to have to pass the ball extremely well, because every mistake pass that they throw, this Pike team will take advantage of, get out on the break, and get easy layups. They force a lot of turnovers. They have 3 players that average more than 2 steals a game, and leading the way is their leading scorer, Angel Baker, with 3.6 a game. So this team prides themselves on playing on the defensive end, forcing turnovers. So for Homestead, they're going to have to move the ball well without turning the ball over. And defensively, they have to keep up their intensity that they played with all postseason long, and feeding off of that Northridge win in which they dominated defensively. That's important for Homestead here tonight. If they're able to do that, they'll be able to get up to a lead earlier with all these senior leaders that they have compared to Pike, who only has 2 out there.
Homestead, obviously number 2 in the state, 27-2 in the season for Pike, 24-3, number 4. What has to happen in their first ever trip in a state championship?
Well, Angel Baker is going to have to lead the way. She averages 19.4 points a game, but she's also the leading distributor. She's going to have to get her teammates involved here in this one, averaging 4 assists a game. And it's going to be important to get everybody involved early on. You do not have any experience in this type of environment, so it's going to have to be a balanced effort for this team offensively, shooting 45% from the field. This Pike team, it's going to be extremely important for them to get confidence in that first quarter.
The lights are dimmed here at Bankers Life Fieldhouse as we're ready for starting lineups just moments away from tip-off of this huge state championship matchup between 2 of the top 4 teams in the state. Obviously, it's been a long journey for both teams. Let's take a quick recap. For the Homestead Spartans, it started on their home floor. They beat Jay County 81-59, Southside 73-34, and Huntington North 93-51 to win their sectional championship. In regional, they defeated Zionsville 52-38 and Carmel 63-59, and then they won their second ever semi-state championship with a 63-40 win over the Northridge Raiders last week. For Pike, it started in the sectional semifinal after receiving the bye. They beat Roncalli in overtime 55-53. They won at Ben Davis in the sectional championship 58-55. They defeated Brownsburg and North Central in the regional, and then Columbus North in the semi-state 52-49. That puts them here in their first ever state championship appearance. Let's get to the starting lineups. We'll start with the Homestead Spartans. Again, number 2 in the state, 27-2 on the season, 7-1 in neutral site ball games this year. At the first guard, a 5'8 senior Madison Parker. At the second guard, a 5'8 senior Taryn Klein. At the third guard, a 5'8 senior Carissa McLaughlin. At the forward, a 6-foot sophomore, Haley Swing. And at the other forward, a 6-foot senior, Jasmine Geis. The Spartans are coached by Mr. Rod Parker, who's in his 16th season at Homestead. We go to the other side of the ball now in the Pike Red Devils. Number 4 in the state of Indiana, 24-3 on the season, and undefeated 5-0 in neutral site games this year. At the first guard, a 5'8 sophomore, Jada Roberson. At the second guard, a 5'5 senior, Lorraine Rasco. At the third guard, a 5'8 junior, Angel Baker. At the forward, a 6-foot junior, Michaela White. And at the other forward, a 5'11 sophomore, Kennedy Gerard. The Pike Red Devils are coached by Mr. Bob Angela, who's in his 6th season at Pike, his 9th overall. The red shirts across from us, the Pike fans, the gold and the Homestead fans right behind us. Just moments away. Matt, what are you watching for?
Both teams, a lot of energy coming into this ball game. A lot of jitters on both sides. They're going to have to play their game. Do what you have done all season long to get you to this point. Don't try to play any different. And they're going to have to play their styles of play for both teams. Get comfortable, get into a groove early on. And for Pike, they're going to have to excel in the defensive end. Get out and run when you can, but then slow it up offensively. Make this Homestead team work on the defensive end. And then for Homestead, they're going to try and keep that defensive groove moving on. They're like they did last week against Northridge and then in the regional final against Carmel. Both teams, it's going to be a really close battle here for 32 minutes. I'm excited to watch this Spartan team with 4 seniors. This is the last 32 minutes of their careers. And for Pike, their first ever state championship appearance. A lot of emotions starting here with tip-off.
The 42nd annual IHSAA Girls Basketball State Final, the Homestead Spartans and the Pike Red Devils will take the floor in their final 32 minutes of the season. The Spartans in their away blue uniforms with gold lettering and white trim. For the Pike Red Devils, they're in their white home uniforms with red lettering and numbering and black trim. The Pike Red Devils, of course, their leading scorer, Angel Baker, just over 19 points a game this season, averaging right at that mark in the postseason with 19 points, 6 rebounds, and 3.5 steals per game. For the Homestead Spartans, their leading scorer is Krista McLaughlin, 26 points a game, also 6 assists and 3 steals. The Homestead Spartans and the Pike Red Devils taking the floor in their finals game of their season for the seniors, the final game of their career. Haley Swing will tip for the Homestead Spartans. For the Pike Red Devils, Michaela White. Fans for both teams on their feet. A packed Bankers Life Fieldhouse has seen 3 state championships already today. It's time for the nightcap. Homestead and Pike. Swing to tip for Homestead. White to tip for Pike. The ball is in the air. The tip batted around and collected by the Pike Red Devils. And Pike will take it across the timeline with a couple aggressive dribbles from Lorraine Rasco. Left wing for Baker. Driving on Klein down the baseline. Cut off by Klein. Back outside for Roberson. On the baseline, Roberson inside for Gerard. Back out. A 15-foot jumper, no good from White. Rebound, Jasmine Geis for Homestead. McLaughlin across the timeline. Right corner to Swing. Ball fake to McLaughlin. Now bounces it to her on the right side. McLaughlin dribbles between the circles. Half a minute into this state championship. No score. Klein, a 3-ball. Off the back of the iron, no good. Rebound batted out of bounds. The official runs in. We'll give it to Pike. 7:21 to go in the opening quarter. We're scoreless, Pike basketball.
Pike starting off in a 3-2 zone, or actually a 2-3 zone rather, trying to give Homestead a different look. You're going to expect this Pike Red Devil team to switch things up defensively the rest of the way, try and throw Homestead off balance. And for Homestead, they're going to try. Both teams missed their first shot of the game. It's a key for both sides to get into a groove offensively early.
A possession for both teams so far and no score with 7:21 to go in the opening quarter. Lorraine Rasco will take it across the timeline for the Red Devils, averaging just about 63 points per game, but more impressive, 38 rebounds a game. Rasco to the basket. The floater left short. Geis the rebound for the Spartans. Geis looking for guard help. She finds McLaughlin, and she'll take it across the half-court stripe. 7 to go, opening quarter. We're scoreless. Second possession of the game for the Homestead Spartans. Parker Right side for Klein, into the corner to Carissa McLaughlin. The Spartans, the second leading team in terms of points per game this season in the state of Indiana. Here's McLaughlin. 6:45 to go, opening quarter. We're scoreless. Parker on the right wing into the corner for Carissa McLaughlin. Drives to the elbow, into the baseline, Klein. Right wing, Parker, a three ball. Rims out. Rebound tipped up. Klein collects it at the elbow. Outside, McLaughlin. Between the circles, she'll set things up with 6.5 to play. First quarter, we're still scoreless. Into the corner, Parker. High post for Swing. Back out to Parker. A shot fake. A drive. Baseline, Geist. Inside. Blocked away by Gerard, and she picks it away for Pike. Up court, Rasco on the right wing. Dribbles into the corner, guarded by Parker. A pass inside. Deflected around. Collected by Roberson. High. Floater is good. First basket of the game belongs to Jada Roberson. 6:05 to go. First quarter. 2-0. Pike on top, and a foul as McLaughlin crosses the timeline by Larae Rasco. That's her first, team's first. So now with 6:03 first quarter, 2-0 Pike, Homestead basketball. McLaughlin across the timeline between the circles, guarded by Rasco. A screen from Klein as McLaughlin pulls up inside the arc and buries it. First basket of the game for the Spartans belongs to McLaughlin. Tied up at 2, 5:50 to go in the first quarter. Angel Baker, the leading scorer for this Pike Red Devil squad, attacks down the lane. Floater up, no. Offensive rebound, Gerard. Falls off the rim, and it's tipped around and collected by Haley Swing for Homestead. McLaughlin races across the timeline. All the way to the basket, trips, and a blocking foul. And McLaughlin will get 2 free throws coming up. A little slow to get up for the Florida signee, but she'll make her way to the free throw line on the foul on Kennedy Gerard. That's her first, team second, and Carissa McLaughlin heading to the free throw line for a pair.
Homestead has to look to get out and run when they can because this Pike Red Devil half-court defense is swarming, and Homestead hasn't looked comfortable in their half-court sets on the offensive side thus far. So a smart play from Carissa McLaughlin to be aggressive and get into the paint, draw the foul.
McLaughlin makes the first, the second good as well. 5:31 to go, first quarter. 4-2, Homestead on top. Across the timeline, Angel Baker. Guarded by Klein, a screen from Gerard as Baker dribbles to the right side. Top of the key for Roberson. Drives, floater stuffed by Jasmine Geist. And a jump ball. Possession arrow gives it to Homestead. 5:20 to go in the first. 4-2 Spartans on top. Swing will inbound for Homestead.
Great defensive help from Jasmine Geist sliding over and getting the jump ball call on the block.
Parker across the timeline for the Homestead Spartans wearing their visiting blue. Top of the key for McLaughlin. Steps into a three ball. Left it short. Rebound tipped up. Swing collects it off the glass. Way off the mark. Parker saves it from going out of bounds, but it goes right to Roberson for Pike. Up the court, Roberson. Fancy dribbling inside. Floater misses to the right. Offensive rebound. Rasco. Pike will set it back up. Baker between the circles. Driving down the lane. The floater. Wedges left. No good. Parker the rebound. Parker will take it up and across the timeline for Homestead. 4:43 to go, first quarter. 4-2 Homestead. Parker dribbling right side, down the lane, and a travel. An extra step for Madison Parker. A turnover gives it back to Pike. 4:38 to go in the first. 4-2 Homestead.
Madison Parker unsure where she wanted to go with the basketball, and that's a credit to this Pike off-the-ball defense. Had nowhere to go, and instead of doing a jump stop, she slid her feet, and she got called for a travel.
Brasco across the timeline, left wing for Baker. Now top of the key for Gerard. Couple ball fakes, her pass tipped by Swing. McLaughlin with it for Homestead. McLaughlin down low swing, layup is blocked away, gets it back, then she's stuffed but a foul. And Haley Swing will be rewarded with 2 free throws for the effort down low. 4:19 to go in the first. Homestead leads 4-2 as Kennedy Gerard picks up her second foul. Team's third, and Swing at the line for 2 free throws.
Haley Swing, some visible jitters out of her a couple of times when she's got the ball. She's kind of thrown it up at the basket. She has to take her time, make sure it's a solid look. And right now she's able to get bailed out with the foul call, but she has to try and settle into a groove. Some of these underclassmen who haven't been in this situation before, that's why it's such a big help for this team, Homestead team with 4 senior leaders.
Swing hits the first. This has been a struggle point for her this year. Misses the second. Rebound collected by Michaela White for Pike. Mariah Brown just checked in for Gerard with her 2 fouls. Right side, Angel Baker. Baker, a couple fancy dribbles on Klein. Now Baker down the lane. She's fouled. Taryn Klein will pick up her first foul of the ball game. It's the Homestead Spartans first. And with 4:05 to go in the opening quarter, it is 5-2 Homestead. Pike basketball under their own basket. The inbound from Rasco. Lobs it in for Baker right side. The jump ball collected by Baker right wing. Guarded by Klein. Baker. Roberson drives to the basket, off the glass and in. Jada Roberson has both baskets so far for Pike. McLaughlin streaks up the floor, poked out from behind, but Geist gets it. Swing back to Geist. Driving on a double team, back out to Parker. 5-4 Spartans, 3:45 to go first quarter. Sloppy play, a turnover from Pike. Pike has it on the run, to the basket. Rasco finishes on the right side. 6-5 Pike, 3:33 to go in the first. Across the timeline, Carissa McLaughlin. Right side for Taryn Klein, bounces baseline, Geist a 15-footer off the rim, no good. Rebound collected by Angel Baker for Pike. On the run, Baker with some speed to the basket. Baker can't finish. Geist the rebound. Now to McLaughlin, and she'll cross the half-court stripe with 3:10 to go first quarter, 6-5 Pike. Spartans have only made one basket from the floor so far today. It was a jumper from McLaughlin. Down the baseline, McLaughlin inside Geist. Floater misses, gets her own board. Another opportunity, and one! Jasmine Geist finishes off the glass with a foul. And Geist will go to the free throw line to convert the three-point play on the first foul on Mariah Brown, team's fourth. And Jasmine Geist one free throw with 2:47 to go in the first. 7-6 Homestead. Kara Geely checks into the ball game for Taryn Klein. Geist at the line to convert the three-point play.
Jasmine Geist does that so well. She gets a good look the first time, misses that, fights for a rebound, and then gets a better look at the basket, draws contact, and finishes through the contact, gets to the free throw line, a chance to add to the Spartan lead here early on in the first.
So Homestead up 7-6 with 2:59 to go in the opening quarter. Jasmine Geist at the line to convert the three-point play. The free throw does not fall. Offensive rebound, Haley Swing. Swing falls to the floor, and that's a travel. She could not find anybody to dump it down to, and that will bring us to our first media timeout of this 4A state championship. It's Homestead 7, Pike 6 with 2:54 to go in the opening quarter.
Both teams struggling a little bit to shoot the basketball. Homestead 20% from the field, Pike 30%. So both teams are trying to find their offensive rhythm. We've seen Pike trying to get out and run. Both teams half-court sets on the offensive end have looked a little sloppy. Some good looks, but those hustle plays have really been the difference here for both sides. We've seen players like Angel Baker, Jada Roberson get those second-chance opportunities for their teams. Jasmine Geist just got one for herself right there after her miss. So this Homestead team is trying to find that rhythm offensively. 0 of 3 from beyond the arc up to this point. They need their shooters to get going. They rely on that three-point shot a lot, but when they're playing this well defensively and both sides aren't shooting the ball well, they'll be okay up to this point. But both teams are still trying to search for that offensive rhythm.
A little bit of an odd situation when you get to the state championship because it's televised on Fox Sports. They give media timeouts for the first dead ball under 4 minutes. So for the Homestead Spartans and the Pike Red Devils, they get some time here to talk about a 7-6 ball game and one that's been very slow, and that's kind of what we expected.
Yeah, both sides have slowed it down, and both teams have tried their best to get back in transition defensively and stop the fast break, but that's sort of broken down here late in the first. Pike getting out and run, but they haven't been able to finish a lot of their chances. And for Homestead, they just need their shooters to get going from beyond the arc, get the lid off the basket. And we've seen so far both teams have gotten some chances from the free throw line already. We could see more of the same down the stretch with the aggressive style of play from both these sides. If the three-point shot isn't falling, both teams are going to try and get to the basket and draw contact.
Homestead 2 of 10 from the field so far. Pike 3 of 10. Homestead 0 for 3 from beyond the arc, and 4 turnovers for the Spartans, 2 for Haley Swing, 2 for Madison Parker. So Homestead obviously has to do a better job of taking care of the basketball, but also they're getting open looks. They're just not knocking them down.
Yeah, and that's just going to come with experience for this team in this game. they have two players that have played in this situation before, but still, it's a state championship. There are going to be some jitters, and we've seen that a little bit from this Homestead team before in this game so far in the first. They're just going to have to work out their way out of it, and the same thing goes for Pike.
Homestead also winning the rebounding battle 11-6. That was something Coach Parker stressed in that pregame locker room. Here's Rasco on the right side of the media timeout. Between the circles, Baker drives, kicks it outside for Brown, hands it off to Baker left wing. Baker working on Geely, picks up her dribble, finds Rasco right side. Pike doesn't shoot a whole lot of threes, so Rasco drives to the basket, but a wild shot is left short. McLaughlin with it now for the Spartans. Top of the key, McLaughlin, the Florida signee, dribbling around a defender, now backs it out, left side Parker, down the baseline, Parker lay in, left it short, rebound collected by Pike and Roberson. On the run, Roberson, right side, a three ball from Rasco, left it short, offensive rebound, White, turnaround jumper is good. And White, her first basket of the game, with 2:03 to go in the first quarter, 8-7, Pike on top. Parker left wing for McLaughlin. Poked away by Roberson, but McLaughlin gets it back. Now top of the key for Kara Geely, left side McLaughlin, open three ball, that's good! First three of the game for Carissa McLaughlin. She's got 7 of Homestead's 10, and it's 10-8, Homestead leading. Across the timeline, Rasco. Pike down 2, 1:37 to play in the first. Rasco left wing, into the corner for Michaela White, lobs it down low for Baker, splits a double team, misses off the glass. McLaughlin the rebound, falls to the floor, pass is tipped right to Baker who missed the layup. It goes out of bounds off of Pike. It's Homestead basketball. 1:22 to go in the first. Spartans up 10-8, Graber in for swing. What a crazy sequence that was.
Yeah, and it looked like Homestead had just given Pike 2 points, but Angel Baker was just too wide open, I guess, and missed the wide open layup.
Geely on the right side for the Spartans, up 2, 1:15 to go, opening quarter. Parker, straightaway three ball, that's good! Parker knocks down the three, and a timeout. Coach Angela and Pike. 1:09 to go, first quarter, 13-8. Homestead on top, a couple of threes give the Spartans a 5-point edge.
Homestead starting to get comfortable out there. Carissa McLaughlin and Madison Parker knocking down some NBA range threes out there behind the red three-point line. So this team, if they're able to shoot the basketball well from beyond the arc, that's going to provide a tough matchup for this Pike Red Devil team. They're trying to collapse the interior down, not let Homestead to use that dribble drive. That's why they're using the zone. But if Homestead starts hitting these outside shots, Pike might have to reconsider their defensive strategy. They might have to go with maybe a man-to-man instead of this zone they're running right now.
An interesting stat from Michaela White, who has 2 points in this game, but really has been absent offensively. She's working on 4 double-doubles in 5 games in the postseason, averaging 11 and 10.5 in the postseason. So you would imagine as the game goes on, she'll start to become more of a prominent factor for Pike, who is not a deep team. They don't play more than 6 or 7 per game. Across the timeline, Rasco, Pike down 13-8 with a minute to go in the opening quarter. On the right side, Baker, now to Roberson between the circles. Guarded by McLaughlin. Roberson, one-hand pass left side for Baker. Geely defending. Geely poked it away, but Baker gets it back, drives off the glass, no, second chance, good from Baker. Her first basket of the game. It's 13-10 Homestead, 40 seconds to go in the first. Parker on the right wing thought about a three ball, but puts down a few dribbles, and her pass taken away by White and Pike. Up court, Roberson. Now Rasco driving, fouled hard on the floater, and 2 free throws coming up for Larae Rasco. 26 seconds to go in the opening quarter. It's 13-10 Homestead. And that foul will be on Jasmine Geist. It's her first, team second. At the line, Rasco first is good.
Pike is going to have to continue to get the ball inside. They have not shot many threes, only 1 3 up to this point in the game. So they're not comfortable from beyond the arc. So they're going to have to continue to use the dribble drive and try and create contact and get to the free throw line like they did right there.
Rasco gets both to go. It's 13-12 Homestead, 20 seconds to go, opening quarter. McLaughlin at the half-court strike. Dribbling around between the circles. Right side for Parker. 10 to shoot. Parker dribbles into the corner. Back out on the right wing. Hands it off to McLaughlin. 5 to shoot. McLaughlin left side Keeley into the corner for Parker. Down low for Graber, 2 to shoot. Off the glass, no, the tip from Geist, no good. End of the first quarter. Homestead 13, Pike 12. Let's go to Gabe Smith on the sideline.
Coach, a 1-point lead at the end of one. What are your thoughts on those first 8 minutes?
Well, we got to move the ball better on offense. We're doing way too much standing around right now.
All right, thanks, Coach. Back to you, Austin.
Thank you, Gabe. 13-12, Homestead on top after the first quarter of play. McLaughlin looking like herself, 7 points to start the game.
She's starting to get comfortable out there in the state atmosphere after 2 years ago not shooting the ball well at all. Here today, she's taken control as a senior leader on this team. But Coach Parker is right on these last few possessions for Homestead offensively. This matchup zone for this Pike Red Devil team is providing fits for Homestead. They're dribbling the ball a heck of a lot too much. They need to move the basketball with the pass and try and that's when you're going to get open shots from beyond the arc. But right now, Pike is all over Homestead, especially on these last 2 possessions. They need to try and free up those shooters because Homestead's starting to get rolling, knocking down a couple threes in that first quarter.
McLaughlin has taken 3 shots from the field. Would you rather see her take a few more than 3 shots? Want to see her be a little bit more aggressive for Homestead?
I understand what she's trying to do and distribute the basketball, get more players involved, but when you're the leading scorer on your team and having scored 30 points in semi-state last week, you definitely would like Chris McLaughlin to take some more opportunities. It doesn't matter. Sometimes she's going to take some bad shots and they're not going to go in, but in a state championship, you need her to get her shots up. And she's going to make some tough ones for Homestead. Definitely 3 is not going to be enough for this Homestead team to win, but give them credit. Defensively, they're shutting down Pike right now. Pike does not look comfortable, and Pike, they're not used to playing from way behind in a game because they don't shoot the 3 ball well. So it's going to be hard for them if they get into a big deficit to cut into the lead for Homestead quickly. So this Pike Red Devil team, they're going to try and keep this game close, but definitely Carissa McLaughlin needs to take more shots. 2 of 3 right now from the field. You'd probably like to see this team for Carissa McLaughlin leading the way in shots attempted.
Interesting that Homestead is dominating the glass right now. 5 for Geist, 4 for Swing, en route to a 14-10 rebounding edge in that first quarter for Homestead, which they lead 13-12. Low-scoring ball game. It was a little bit high-scoring. Homestead had 22 after the first quarter against Columbus North 2 years ago. But here, a little more low-scoring. And Pike, they like it that way. They're down by 1 at the end of the first quarter. Pike will inbound to start the second. In the backcourt, Rasco across the timeline. Now to Baker, top of the key. Works it inside for White. A jump stop. Misses the hook shot. Graber the rebound. Here's McLaughlin across the timeline. McLaughlin in the corner for Parker. Parker poked at and stripped. Angel Baker on the run. One-on-one. Baker lost it out of bounds. McLaughlin tipped it. They'll keep it with Pike. 7:39 to go, second quarter. 13-12 Homestead Pike basketball.
Angel Baker thought it went off her, but a great defensive play from Carissa McLaughlin, saving the easy layup in transition.
The inbound is lobbed in the White on the left wing, facing up on Jasmine Geist into the corner for Rasco, who thought about a three-pointer. Parker puts a hand in her face. Left wing for Roberson. Guarded by McLaughlin. Back out to Rasco between the circles. Left side for Roberson. Down the baseline, Roberson swatted by Geist, but a foul. And that's going to be her second foul of the ball game. And it's the team's third, 13-12 Homestead. And all of a sudden, a little bit of a predicament for Coach Parker. The second foul on Jasmine Geist will send Jada Roberson to the line for 2.
The Homestead faithful thought Jasmine Geist got all ball, and it did look like she got a good piece, but she was just a little bit too late stepping over on the baseline to stop the dribble drive, and she's going to pick up her second foul, and Coach Parker knows he has to go to his bench right away. He can't afford to have Jasmine Geist foul out in this state championship game after what had happened in the regional championship against Carmel when Homestead let a big lead slip away. They were able to hang on, but Coach Parker knows what a big impact Jasmine Geist has on this team.
Roberson, 49% shooter, misses them both. 7:18 to go in the second. Still 13-12 Homestead. McLaughlin drives, ball fake, swatted away. Angel Baker wanted none of that and swatted it hard out of bounds. They'll stay with the Spartans. 7:12 to go. 13-12 Homestead. The inbound to McLaughlin in the corner. Fakes the handoff to Parker. Down the baseline, McLaughlin lay-in. It's good. McLaughlin with an early 9. 15-12 Homestead as we hit the 7-minute mark to go in the second quarter. Baker drives, lost her balance and a foul. So Pike will have a baseline inbound with 6:59 to go second quarter. Homestead 15, Pike 12. That foul will go on Homestead's. Not exactly sure who they tagged with the foul there. The inbound from Rasco. Lobs it in up top for Roberson. And Roberson has it between the circles. That last foul was on Kara Geely, her first team's fourth. Inside, a floater from Roberson. 6 quick points for Jada Roberson to start this game. Then a foul on the defensive end on Larae Rasco. That's her second. Team's fifth. And all of a sudden, a team that really, I think, goes 6 deep is looking at 2 girls with 2 fouls, and it doesn't look like Coach Angela is going to go anywhere on his bench right now. Spartans with it, up by 1, 15-14, 6:40 in the second. Parker on the left wing. Geely between the circles, left side McLaughlin. Thought about a deep 3, but passes it up. Now to Geely on the right side. Geely stumbled, but regains her balance, right wing. Between the circles, Parker. 6:23 in the second, 15-14 Homestead. Geely, left side Parker. Top of the key. Parker, deep 3 ball. Hits the front of the rim, no, and the rebound White for Pike. Up court, Rasco across the timeline on the left wing. Rasco, a screen, dribbles into the corner. Rasco, left wing for Brown, driving inside, picks up her dribble at the elbow. Baker, top of the key. Baker working it right side on Geely, step back jumper, and air ball short. Graber the rebound for Homestead. Geely across the timeline. McLaughlin left wing. McLaughlin drives and she's fouled. Angel Baker will pick it up. That's her first and the team's 6th. 5:47 to go in this second quarter. Homestead 15, Pike 14.
This is a Pike team that has only played 6 players in all of their games this season. So not a lot of experience on their bench from the regular season for this group. They can't get into foul trouble early on.
Parker into McLaughlin, a shot fake. Now she pulls up for a deep 2 and a foul. Roberson got her on the arm. That's her first, and 2 free throws coming up for McLaughlin. The shot fake got Roberson the bite, and 2 free throws for McLaughlin. 5:44 to go in the second. 15-14 Homestead.
That is where defensive aggressiveness hurts you, and foul trouble early on for this Pike Red Devil team, but they've also forced 7 turnovers for the Spartans. So they're doing something right, but when you get fouls early on, it's not a good sign for later in the game if you want to keep this ball game close and you want to have your star players out there on the floor.
McLaughlin missed the first but hits the second, 87% on the season. She's in the double figures with 10. Homestead's up 16-14 over Pike with 5:38 to go in the first half. Between the circles, Rasco dribbles to the right side. Now high post for White, spinning inside. The floater hits the back of the rim and shoots to the right. McLaughlin the rebound. Across the timeline, McLaughlin, left wing. Gets a screen from Graber, decides not to use it. Down low for Swing, lay-in, it's good. Haley Swing has 3 tonight. 18-14 Homestead, 5:13 to go in the second. Rasco spinning inside. A travel. A turnover from Pike. That'll be their 3rd of the game. With 5:09 to go in this second quarter, 18-14 Homestead. Homestead brings Taryn Klein back in for Kara Geely. McLaughlin across the timeline. Top of the key, pulls up for 3. Off the front of the rim, no. Swing, battles for the board, and a jump ball. The possession arrow will keep it with Homestead. 5:01 to play in the second quarter, 18-14 Homestead.
A quick 3 from Carissa McLaughlin. She is capable of hitting that, but you'd like to see them get a 3-pointer coming out of a few passes in the offense.
Parker corner, McLaughlin, 3 ball, good! McLaughlin on fire in this ball game with 13 points on 4 of 7 shooting. 21-14 Homestead, 4:49 in the second. Step back, Baker off the back of the iron, no. Rebound tipped up and collected by White. Outside Rasco, 3 ball, back iron, no good. Rebound Klein, and then a jump ball. And the possession arrow will keep it with Pike. This is a very physical ball game. The officials letting a lot go.
I like what's happening out there on the floor. Both teams are fighting hard. You can tell that both sides want to win this state championship so bad. and both teams are leaving it all out there on the floor. I like that the officials are letting them play through this.
Homestead crowd behind us not happy with that last call. 4:35 to go. 21-14. Homestead up by 7. Baker at the high post. Back outside for Rasco. Left wing for Roberson. A screen from White. Roberson drives. Floater off the glass and in. Solid game for Jada Roberson with 8. McLaughlin across the timeline. 21-16. Homestead 4:12 to go second quarter. Klein down low for swing, but she couldn't grab it. Roberson on the run for Pike. Roberson down the lane. Lay-in is good. First Red Devil to double figures with 10. 21-18. Homestead halfway through the second quarter. McLaughlin between the circles. Right side for Madison Parker. Parker dribbles around the horn. Now left side for Klein. Klein right side for McLaughlin. A little zone here from the Pike Red Devils. McLaughlin, Parker, 3-ball. Off the mark. Graber the rebound. Puts it up. No. Rebound tipped out of bounds. It'll stay with Homestead. That'll bring us to our second quarter media timeout. 3:37 to go second quarter. 21-18 Homestead again. A very physical game, a lot of contact down low, but you say that's how it should be in a state championship.
I think that's how it should be, and I like how the officials are letting them play through it a little bit. Yes, when it's an obvious foul, they're going to call it, and you've seen Pike into a little bit of trouble because of that. But I like that both teams are playing hard in this one. It's a close matchup, a 3-point ball game right now. And a little thing for Homestead, when they're shooting their 3-point shots, you have 2 3-point arcs out there on the floor. You have the NBA range 3, and then you have the high school standard one that's just inside that. A lot of the times, Homestead is shooting from behind that red 3-point line instead of stepping inside of that. They have the ability to do that if they want to, but you have to think that they're shooting a little bit farther out more than they have to, and that's something that could change their shot a little bit, and we've seen some of the shots end up short for the Spartans from long range.
Yeah, Homestead struggling, 3 of 9 from beyond the arc in this ball game for Homestead. Madison Parker is 1 for 4, McLaughlin 2 for 4. You'd like to see some of those shots go down a little more consistently if you're the Spartans. The numbers, though, that should scare the two teams. Homestead is 7 of 22 from the field. Pike is 8 of 25. Two teams that are just not shooting the ball well.
Again, we talked about it in the pregame, and we don't know what it is, but the crowd is on every single side here at Bankers Life, even behind the basket. So whatever that is, it's the environment that throws off these shooters a little bit. Both teams still trying to find that offensive rhythm, and I think it's going to be like that the rest of the way. These teams are going to have to count on their defense, and we've seen Pike get out and run on these last few possessions. They do not want to set things up. This Homestead defensive pressure for both teams in the half-court sets, they are comfortable on the defensive end, sitting down and playing tough defensively. So both teams trying to get out and run, trying to beat the pressure before teams can set up their defensive schemes in the half-court set.
Homestead leading the second chance points 8-6, and of course Coach Parker said he wants to attack the glass. This is a Pike team that rebounds the ball exceptionally well. So far Homestead continues to lead that battle, now up 22-13 in the rebounding battle, but only up 21-18. Homestead's biggest lead of the game was 7. Pike's biggest lead was 2. And the turnover battle obviously hurting as well.
Homestead 8 turnovers on the game compared to Pike's 3, so Homestead actually has to clean that up. That's why it's such a close game.
Parker in for Graber, stripped away. There's their 9th turnover of the game. Roberson inside, finishes. 6-0 run, all from Jada Roberson. Pike within 1. 3:25 to go. McLaughlin pull-up jumper barely nicks the rim. Rebound Baker. Pike can take the lead on this possession. Baker down low into traffic. Swing takes it away for Homestead. And a big turnover there for Homestead. Or for Pike, excuse me, a good takeaway for Homestead. Here's Parker left wing. 3:05 to go in the second. Spartans up 21-20. McLaughlin to the right corner. Now dribbles out right side. Again, that 2-3 zone from Pike. McLaughlin, corner. Parker steps into a three-pointer from the right wing, left it short. Another miss from the Spartans from long range. Another rebound, Pike. Baker across the timeline, inside the arc. Pulls up at the elbow, back outside for Roberson. To the basket, Roberson blocked by Sidney Graber. Now to McLaughlin. McLaughlin driving inside through the double team, off the glass and in. 15 for McLaughlin. 23-20 Homestead. 2.5 to go in the second quarter. Baker across the timeline. Dribbling right side. Baker with just 2 points in this game, averages 19 a ball game. High post, outside Rasco, a deep 2. That's good. That'll make it 23-20. Homestead on top by 1 as Rasco moves to 6 points on the contest. McLaughlin between the circles. Screen from Parker. McLaughlin dribbles left side. Down low for Sydney Graber. Layup, no. Gets her own board. Up, in and a foul. Another and one for the Spartans. More second chance points this time from Sydney Graber. 2:03 to go in this second quarter. Homestead back up by 3, 25-22.
And yet again, another rebound for this Homestead team. When they've missed that first opportunity to score, they've gotten in there, and Sydney Graber has played exceptional with Jasmine Geist out of the ballgame with 2 fouls. She stepped in and played confident.
Free throw missed from Graber. Rebound for Pike across the timeline. Rasco left wing to the corner for Baker, working on Klein. Baker down the baseline through a double team off the glass, but she was fouled. And Baker will get 2 free throws. A little grimace on the face of Pike's leading scorer on the season. The foul is the second on Taryn Klein, team's 5th. 1:54 to go, second quarter, 25-22 Homestead. Angel Baker at the line for 2.
Angel Baker just hasn't looked comfortable out there on the floor. 1 of 9 from the field, and she hasn't been able to shoot the basketball as well as she has been shooting all season long, averaging 19 a game. But she has to find other ways to help her team win, and I think that has to start with giving the ball to players like Jada Roberson, who is leading this team with 12 points.
Baker gets 1 of 2 at the line. Spartans up 25-23, 150 in the second. McLaughlin double teamed, fires right side for Parker. Down the baseline, double teamed, out to McLaughlin right side. McLaughlin down the lane, finishes. What a game for McLaughlin. Pike with the basketball down 4, 27-23, 1:33 to go in the second. Across the timeline, Rasco driving, kicking it back out to Roberson, who drives, and an offensive foul. The extended chicken wing, as some might call it. Jada Roberson picks up her second, and Homestead takes over. 1:25 to go. Second quarter, Homestead up 27-23.
This Pike team has 3 players out there on the floor with 2 fouls. If you're Homestead and Coach Parker, you have to draw something up where you get inside, maybe use a pump fake, and then try and draw some contact. Get one of those star players for this Pike team into foul trouble. Try and make them pick up their third before the half.
Across the timeline, McLaughlin to Parker, right back to McLaughlin. Screen from Graber. McLaughlin, right side, Geely, corner. Parker, 3-ball, was tipped. Left short, rebound Pike, and Brown. Across the timeline, Brown drives, kicks it out to Rasco. Rasco to the basket, and a foul. And 2 free throws coming up for Rasco. With 1:07 to go in the second, 27-23 Homestead. The foul on Haley Swing. That's her first. Team 6th, but 2 shots coming up for Larae Rasco. Got to give credit to Pike. Their role players are stepping up.
Yeah, their players have stepped up when they've needed to, especially with Angel Baker only scoring 3 points. Jada Roberson has been so important for this team, as well as Larae Rasco with 6. So this team has players stepping up, and they've continued to try and use that dribble drive to draw contact. Homestead has to do a better job of sliding over on the help D.
Both free throws good for Rasco. 27-25 Homestead. 60 seconds to go in this second quarter. McLaughlin down the lane, a ball fake, a drive, misses the layup, a lot of contact. Graber gets the offensive rebound. Shot up, no good. Rebound tip to Swing. Here's McLaughlin at the elbow. Out to Parker, 3-ball on its way. That's good. Parker with 6 points. Spartans up 30-25 with 40 seconds to go in the first half. Spartan faithful on their feet behind us. Baker on the left wing. Driving inside, and a foul. There'll be a 1-and-1 coming up for Angel Baker as Geely picks up her second. Team 7, so one of the fouls starting to tack up here for the Homestead Spartans and the Pike Red Devils. 15 fouls called in this game between the 2 teams. 30 seconds to go, 30-25. Homestead Baker at the line for a 1-and-1.
Pike has only attempted 2 3-pointers up to this point in the first half, so a lot of their chances have been coming by means of the free throw line, and that's going to continue the rest of the way since they're not a team that shoots a lot of 3-point shots.
5 lead changes in this game, but really it has felt like Homestead has controlled this ball game, up 4 right now. First free throw good from Baker, the second on its way. Good as well. Baker with 5. Spartans up 30-27 with 27 seconds to go in the second quarter. McLaughlin across the timeline. Guarded by Roberson. McLaughlin dribbling around between the circles. Down to 17 seconds. Here's McLaughlin, left wing. Backs it out by the half-court stripe. McLaughlin spinning around on Roberson. 10 to shoot. McLaughlin up and under. Jumper, no. Rebound, Resko. 5 seconds across the timeline. Resko steps into a floater, misses it. Rebound. That's the end of the first half. Homestead 30, Red Devils 27. Coach Parker, the Homestead Spartans, a hot commodity. The television sideline reporter gets to him first, but the Spartans up by 3 at the end of this first half of play.
Yeah, the Spartans, they have the lead here in the state championship, and it's thanks to Carissa McLaughlin. Her offensive output for this team has been important for them to get out to this lead, and also the rebounding total for this Homestead squad. This is a Pike team that only really likes to play 5 players, maybe a 6th out there on the floor. So Homestead taking advantage of some tired legs for Pike, getting those second chance opportunities and destroying Pike in the rebounding category. But turnovers have been a real problem for Homestead. That's why they don't have a bigger lead up to this point in the ball game, turning the ball over left and right. 9 turnovers. They have to clean that up in the first half.
Let's go to Gabe Smith on the sideline with Coach Parker.
Coach, the officials are allowing a lot of physical play out there in that first half. Do you have any plans to change anything in your game plan to combat that?
Well, we're going to have to play physical. We're going to have to be strong with the basketball because they've been very physical up on our ball handlers. We're going to have to get underneath that zone the best we can to get some inside-outside looking.
All right, thanks, Coach. Back to you, Austin.
Thank you, Gabe. Gabe walking all the way down the tunnel with Coach Parker there. It's 30-27, Homestead on top here in the Marco's Pizza halftime show. A physical game, back and forth. Spartans leading by 3 at halftime.
Pike does not look comfortable from behind the three-point arc, so what do you do when you're not shooting the outside ball? Well, you try to get the ball inside, and that's what they have done. They put their shoulder down and run into Homestead defenders who have just been a tiny bit late sliding their feet over, and the officials have gotten them Homestead for a lot of blocking fouls on the other end. Pike, I think a little bit of that is the foul trouble is because of their aggressiveness. They force some turnovers, but also they've had some dumb fouls where they really haven't needed to make those types of plays on the defensive end, trying a little bit too hard, especially Lorraine Rasco, who was guarding Carissa McLaughlin up near her when Carissa McLaughlin was inbounding the basketball. So there's a couple of dumb fouls for this Pike Red Devil team because of their aggressiveness, and Coach Angela will take that as long as they play smart the rest of the way. 3 of their starters with 2 fouls.
Jada Roberson, really the bright spot in this ball game. 6 of 8 from the floor for 12 points, 3 rebounds, but the turnovers. That's the story in this game. Homestead leading by 3, but they've turned the ball over 9 times to Pike's 5. The points off turnovers, incredible for the Pike Red Devils, and you have to think Homestead has got to clean things up offensively if they want to try and continue to stay in the lead.
Well, they've turned the ball over when they've looked uncomfortable on the offensive end, moving the basketball around. And this 2-3 zone for Pike, they're moving all over the floor, trying to confuse Homestead, coming with the double team in a couple of occasions when Homestead gets the ball into the corner. So Homestead has turned the ball over when they've looked a little confused, don't know where to go with the basketball. Those active hands for Pike have forced their fair share of turnovers, but also that comes with some of the fouls that they've gotten, and they have to clean that up in the second half. And for Homestead, that's got to be the thing you change moving into the third quarter. You have to move the ball without turning it over. And if you're able to do that, you're starting to get that three-point shot in there, only shooting 4 of 12 right now. But when you look at it up against Pike's 0 of 2 from the outside, you're going to take those three-point shots. And sometimes for Coach Parker, I think he's going to take a 2 for a 3 on the if defensive end. If Pike gets in there on a fast break, gets a 2, then his team goes down there, moves the ball around, gets an open shot, and shoots a 3, he'll take that. But they just have to get back in transition a little bit more and cut down on the turnovers here in the second half.
Madison Parker, 7 3-point attempts in that first half, just made 2 of them. That's 7 of her 8 attempts. Obviously, the mantra is shooters keep shooting, but when do you tell Parker to start driving to the basket maybe a little more, try and pull up from mid-range because the three-pointers just not going down.
Well, she's not looked very comfortable getting to the basket. The one time she tried to get it inside, she threw up a wild shot to try to draw a foul, did not get the call. So you'd like to maybe see her do a little bit more of pump fake, take one dribble, and then shoot the 15-footer. That's more in her range. She's added that to her game this season. So if you're not, the three ball's not falling down again. I think she's stepping too far behind the three-point arc because there's two lines out there on the floor. It's a little bit confusing for the players of where they want to stand to get that three-point shot off. And on many occasions, Madison Parker's three-point shot has come up short. So maybe you get the ball inside a little bit. That 15-footer, I think, is her game. That and the three-point shot. But you just have to keep shooting it. When both teams aren't shooting the basketball that well, your shooters are going to make some shots, and you'll take those fair share of misses if you're able to lock down on the defensive end.
Homestead on top, 30-27. Marco's Pizza halftime show. We'll take a break. When we come back, we'll get you ready for the second half of what should be an exciting 4A Girls Basketball State Championship. Your halftime score, Homestead 30, Pike 27. Stay tuned. You're listening to the home of Homestead Spartan Basketball, The Point, 91 FM.
Jimmy John's Gourmet Sandwiches, located at 6727 West Jefferson Boulevard. Menus and online ordering available at jimmyjohns.com. You can also contact for delivery or pick up by phone at 469-7827. Jimmy John's on West Jefferson Boulevard, a proud sponsor of Homestead High School athletics coverage on our station.
Moe's Southwest Grill, located at 6739 West Jefferson Boulevard, next to Dunkin' Donuts, Baskin-Robbins. You can contact Moe's by dialing 969-MOE's, or for catering, that number is 969-EATS. Moe's specializes in southwestern food like burritos, tacos, and nachos, with no microwaves or freezers. You can visit Moe's online at moes.com. Thank you, Moe's, for supporting the Point 91 FM and being a proud sponsor of Homestead High School athletics coverage on our station.
Marco's Pizza, located at 10345 Illinois Road inside the shops of Scott Road. Marco's specializes in pizza, cheesy bread, subs, salads, and many other menu items. You can place an order for delivery or carry out by calling 625-6800. That number once again is 625-6800. You can also order online at marcos.com. Thank you, Marcos, for supporting the Point 91 FM and being a proud sponsor of Homestead High School athletics coverage on our station.
We all play a role in keeping our community safe.
Every day, we move in and out of each other's busy lives.
It's easy to take for granted all the little moments that make up our everyday.
Some are good, others not so much.
But that's life.
It's when something doesn't seem quite right that it's time to pay attention.
Because only you know what's not supposed to be in your everyday.
So protect your everyday.
If you see something suspicious, say something to local authorities.
And now let's head back out to the gymnasium for more exciting Homestead Spartan basketball action, right here on the Point 91 FM or online at wcyt.org.
Welcome back to Bankers Life Fieldhouse in downtown Indianapolis, Indiana. Marco's Pizza halftime show with his 4A Girls Basketball State Championship. It's Homestead 30, Pike 27. Big advantage, and Matt's just pointing it out to me. Homestead led for 12 and a half minutes in that first half. Pike led for 1 minute and 6 seconds. They were tied for a little over 2 minutes, but that's just telling you how dominant Homestead has been, and yet they lead by 3.
It's because of the turnovers. They've turned the ball over a little bit too much, and they've held the lead, but they just haven't been able to stretch it out, and that's what Pike wants to do. This team wants to keep it close for 32 minutes, and then down the stretch of this ball game, they're going to want to look to close things out, and you have to think they're looking to get it into overtime. You saw this team knock off the number 1 team in the state in the regional championship game by going to overtime. So for Pike, they're just going to try and keep things close, and they've done so in the first half. And it starts with the defensive intensity, forcing 9 turnovers in that first half. They're going to look to do more of the same here in the starting off in the third quarter. This Pike Red Devil team, battle-tested up to this point in the season, and they're sticking around, only down 3 to the Spartans.
To hear about what Coach Parker wants to wants his team to do in the second half. Let's go to our sideline reporter, Garrett Willis. Garrett, what do you have for us?
Well, Austin, Coach Parker thinks that his team has been playing very well in the half-court defense so far in this game, but it comes down to the three big things that he's been harping on his team throughout this week of practice. Layups, runouts, and quoting him, those stinking rebounds have been those three things which have really gotten them on the fritz on the defensive side. He thinks that they've allowed about 6 times they've allowed them to get into the runout, and that's really hurt them on the defensive side. If he thinks that they're able to lock down, allowing one shot on the defensive side, that's going to be huge for them. Along with that, it's the 30th game. It's the 30th time he said win the third quarter. He thinks that they're able to get this up to a 6 or 7 point lead going into the fourth quarter. They believe they can deliver the knockout punch in the fourth.
All right, thanks, Garrett. And Garrett told us 7 rebounds offensively was what Homestead wanted to keep Pike off of. They have 7 offensive rebounds in that first half, but Homestead still leads the rebounding battle by 7. The stat, though, in that first half, 4 of 8 from the line for Homestead. You'd have to imagine that has to get better. What do they have to do in the second half to keep this lead?
Well, it starts defensively. They have to keep up their intensity. And if I'm Homestead, you switch to a 2-3 zone. You're going man-to-man up to this point in the game. But Pike has only shot 2 3-point shots. They've missed both of them. All they've wanted to do is drive the ball inside with a full head of steam. If this team switches to a 2-3 zone, I think you can collapse the defense, not allow Pike to get those easy opportunities, especially in transition. So defensively, I'd like to see this team switch to a 2-3 zone. Offensively, I think they're going to have to do a better job moving the basketball without turning the ball over, getting better looks. And when you get to the free throw line, you have to convert from the charity stripe. 4 of 8, and that's because some of those big girls down low, Sydney Graber, Haley Swing, and Jasmine Geist have missed their opportunities at the free throw line. You have to convert those in a big game, and especially in a state championship if you're going to want to end up on the winning side.
Now Homestead on top, 30-27 here as we're about to wrap up the Marco's Pizza halftime show. What adjustments does Pike have to make in the second half?
Well, they're going to have to knock down some three-point shots, I think. If you want to have balance offensively, if you want to cut into a deficit, what you have to do is be able to hit some big shots, and that starts from beyond the arc. I know it's not really their identity, but Angel Baker has to step up for this team. She has to knock down a few three-pointers. She's been trying to get the ball inside a lot. Only 1 of 9 from the field for their leading scorer. So this team offensively, they're going to have to knock down a few more outside shots because Homestead's going to key in on the dribble drive that they used a lot in that first half. And then defensively, they're going to have to continue to close out hard on those Spartan three-point shooters. Madison Parker, 2 of 7. Kristen McLaughlin, 2 of 4 from beyond the arc. So they're doing their job for the most part up to this point in the ballgame, but you're going to have to continue to work hard at that end of the floor to keep Homestead from getting those three-point shots to fall.
Homestead takes the floor to start the second half with their starting lineup. Same for Pike. We see Kennedy Gerard back into the game, played just a few minutes, 4 minutes in that first half as she battled with 2 fouls. Across the timeline, Parker shovels to McLaughlin as the Spartans start the second half with the basketball. Left wing McLaughlin, now between the circles, a screen from Geist. McLaughlin drives off the glass, rims out. Nice offensive rebound by Jasmine Geist, but it's poked away, and Angel Baker comes away with it for Pike. Baker, left wing for Roberson, down the baseline. Roberson back to Baker at the high post. 7.5 to go in the third quarter, 30-27 Homestead. Baker, a screen from White to the basket. Baker off the glass, tantalizingly sits on the rim and falls through. 30-29 Homestead, 7:15 to go in the third. Parker cut off on the baseline. Back out left wing. Parker calls out a play as she dribbles between the circles. Right side for Taryn Klein. Klein, top of the key. Geist, left side for Parker. Parker, McLaughlin, top of the key, a shot fake. Now left wing, Parker. Parker puts down a few dribbles, top of the key for Geist. Bounce pass right side, McLaughlin. McLaughlin batted away, saved from going out of bounds by Roberson, right to White for Pike. 6:47 to go in the third, 30-29 Homestead. Baker at the free throw line, pulls up, it buries, and Pike's in the lead. 31-30 Pike with 6:36 to go in the third. 2 more turnovers in this second half, and the Spartans are losing. Here's McLaughlin, right side for Klein. Klein, Geist, left side, McLaughlin. Guarded by Roberson, top of the key, Parker. 3 ball on its way, that's good! Big shot from Madison Parker, who's got 3 threes tonight. 33-31, Homestead regains the lead with 6:12 to go in the third. Angel Baker, the leading scorer for Pike on the season, 9 tonight. Baker down the right baseline, fadeaway jumper, no good. Offensive rebound, White misses the putback, and Geist the rebound for Homestead. Lobs it up court for McLaughlin, who crosses the timeline with some steam. Right side, Parker, 3-ball, that's good! Another 3 for Madison Parker. Spartans up 36-31 with 5:42 to go in the third. Across the timeline. Rasco, right side, Baker. A screen, Baker moving left side. Thought about a pull-up jumper. Now top of the key for Rasco. Under 5.5 to go, third quarter. 36-31 Homestead. Roberson in the corner. Roberson down the lane, floater, misses everything. Grabs her own rebound, puts it in. Roberson with 14. 36-33 Homestead with 5:12 to go in the third. McLaughlin with the basketball, left wing for Parker, who has all 6 points in this second half for Homestead. Left side for McLaughlin, has it poked up into the air, but McLaughlin gets it back. Right in front of us, McLaughlin, a charge! And Roberson is down on the floor, a little slow to get up. She's going to shake it off and trot back on the other end. McLaughlin picks up her first, and the team's first of the half. 5:01 to go, third quarter, 36-33 Homestead.
A frustration foul from Carissa McLaughlin right there. Roberson was hounding her on the defensive end. She couldn't get any space, and she just kind of flails her right arm out, and the officials get her for an offensive foul. Have to be smarter than that, and she has to hold on to the basketball a little bit better. Pike is poking the ball away way too easily.
Roberson heads to the bench, looks to be a little shaken up after that play. Left wing Angel. Brown checked into the ball game. Angel left wing, driving to the basket, floater on the baseline, off the rim, no good, but a rebound, White, put back, good. Michaela White gets the offensive board, cashes it in for 2, 36-35 Homestead. Down the lane, McLaughlin fouled, 2 free throws coming up. 4:31 to go, Spartans up a point. That foul will go on the Red Devils. LaRae Rasco, that's her third. Team's first of the half, so all of a sudden you got Roberson out of the ball game. Got shaken up on that last play, taken to the locker room. And now Rasco picks up her third. McLaughlin first free throw, no good.
Have to knock down those free ones from the charity stripe. Homestead has struggled up to this point in the game, and for Pike, when you have players getting into foul trouble, you have to get back on defense first and foremost. You can't let Carissa McLaughlin get all the way to the basket on the fast break.
McLaughlin 1 of 2. Homestead not very good from the line tonight, 5 of 10. Between the circles, Rasco playing with 3 fouls for the Red Devils. 4:22 to go, third quarter, 37-35 Homestead. Rasco with the basketball. Left side, Baker, a 3-ball, and Pike's in the lead. Angel Baker is taking over in the second half. Parker left wing, 38-37 Pike. Parker on the other end knocks down the jumper. Parker having a solid second half. She's got 14. 39-38 Homestead, 3:56 to go in the third. Across the timeline, Rasco. Left side for Baker. Down the baseline, Baker spins inside, a travel. Homestead basketball, but we'll have a media timeout. 3:47 to go in the third, 39-38 Homestead. Spartans threw a different look there with a little zone at Pike in that third quarter, but Pike's starting to knock down some shots.
Yeah, well, Angel Baker knocks down a 3 as soon as Homestead switches to that 2-3 zone, but you're going to take those shots. Up to this point in the ball game, this Pike team is not very tested from beyond the arc. They're not comfortable from outside, and you'll take those shots when they fall because you know that you're going to stop the dribble drive, and that's what's really hurt Homestead here to start off the second half is Pike has gotten really easy looks on the interior, and then they've gotten some offensive second chances. And Coach Parker said he wanted to limit those. They did a pretty good job in the first half winning the rebounding category. But right here, starting off the third quarter, this team not doing a great job of boxing out on the defensive end, allowing some opportunities for Pike to get good looks at the basket. And on the other side, Homestead got to look to hold on to the basketball. They've turned the ball over 3 times already or to start off this third quarter. You have to be able to move the basketball without turning it over. That allows Pike to get out and run and get easy looks at the basket. This team has to do a better job of that. They have to be more disciplined. They've avoided turnovers so far throughout the postseason, but uncharacteristic of this team. They have 12 so far in this game, and they have to figure out a way to change that. But defensively, I like the move from Coach Parker moving to the 2-3 zone because that collapses the defense. They just have to do a better job boxing out, finding bodies, not allowing second chance opportunities for Pike.
Baker has 7 points in this half. Parker has 8 for Homestead. So those two girls starting to heat up from the floor, and that's good signs for both teams. Pike down by 1. It will be Homestead basketball coming out of the timeout. A lot more lead changes in this second half, already 4 in this third quarter in just 4 minutes and 13 seconds. 9 lead changes overall. Homestead's biggest lead was 7. Pike has had its biggest lead at 2. So that just shows you how close this game has been. Back and forth we've gone.
Yeah, both teams have battled hard up to this point, fighting hard on the defensive end. Both teams, we thought Pike might try and slow things up a little bit, but their half-court offensive sets haven't looked very pretty. So they've gotten out on the fast break a lot here tonight, especially when they force turnovers, getting 14 points off turnovers compared to Homestead's 4 off turnovers. So Pike, they're going to have to continue doing that the rest of the way. Both teams are trying to run up and down the floor to get easy looks on the break.
McLaughlin across the timeout of the media timeout. Right side for Madison Parker. Swing between the circles. Left side Klein. Spartans up 39-38. Inside Geis misses but a foul. And that's Gerard's third. Team second. Geis at the line now for 2 with 3:33 to go. Third quarter, 39-38 Homestead.
Now, this Pike team switched to a man-to-man to start off this third quarter, and I think they're going to have to change back because Homestead looks much more comfortable running their motion sets that they have run all season long. Coach Parker has torched teams with his offensive schemes against man-to-man defenses, and Homestead getting more looks. Madison Parker has gotten free off some of the screens from this Homestead motion offense, and right there, Jasmine Geist draws the foul from Kennedy Gerard because she was too late because Jasmine Geist was coming off a screen.
Jasmine gets both free throws. Spartans up 3, 41-38. Roberson is back in after being shaken up earlier. She has the ball on the right side. Top of the key, Rasco. High post for White. Deep 2 ball off the mark. Rebound Geist for Homestead. McLaughlin across the timeline at 17 in the first half. Just a point here in this third quarter. 3:05 to go, third quarter. 41-38 Homestead. Parker, open 3, left it short. She felt confident about that one. Running back on the defensive end. Here's Pike. Rasco to the basket. Stuffed by Jasmine Geist. And a jump ball. And the clock is still running and nobody has any idea. The clock is still running as it goes down to 2:45. And it's still running. Now they finally stopped at 41-38 Homestead. Nobody has any idea the clock kept running. And now they're going to stop play. I think 10 seconds came off the clock there. It is. Jump ball keeps it with Pike. 2:57 is what they're going to put it back to. 41-38 Homestead.
Right there, Homestead getting back on the defensive end. Jasmine Geist forces another jump ball because she blocks a shot. Getting all ball. That's a great job from Jasmine Geist, moving her feet on the fast break, not letting Pike get anything easy down low.
So a jump ball keeps it with Pike. Down by 3, 2:57 to play in this third quarter. Homestead 12 turnovers today has kind of kept them from expanding the lead because Pike has gotten 14 points off of those turnovers. The inbound from Rasco lobs it in, but before she did, Coach Angela was not happy. He called a timeout.
Homestead switched to a man-to-man right there on the inbounds play, and it kind of caught the Pike Red Devils by surprise. Good timeout from Coach Angela to talk things over with this team offensively. Again, they haven't looked great in the half-court set. The shots they've gotten have come from putting down their shoulder and running into the Homestead Spartans, drawing contact and making some tough shots. When Homestead has switched to that 2-3 zone, that's forced this Pike team to become more of a jump shooting squad, and they're not comfortable doing that so far, and that's why Homestead has this 3-point edge. But Homestead, again, 12 turnovers. They've done a better job here of running their offense. They look a lot more comfortable offensively going up against a man-to-man defense. So I wouldn't be surprised if Pike switched back to the 2-3 zone that they used in the first half.
Shooting percentages going up for both teams here in this third quarter. 41-38 Homestead. Pike lobs it in right side for Baker. As we hit the 2:50 mark to go in the third. Baker shovels to Roberson. Down the lane. Roberson, wild shot, no good. Parker grabs the board for Homestead. Parker across the timeline for the Spartans. Calls out play number 1. Parker in trouble. A backdoor cut from McLaughlin. 10-footer, good. Nice move by McLaughlin to get open. She's got 20. 43-38 Homestead. 2.5 to go in the third. Baker left wing. Top of the key. Baker. Floater. No good. Rebound collected by Swing for Homestead. McLaughlin across the timeline. Left wing, a little stutter step, spinning around on Roberson. McLaughlin still on the left side, now takes it between the circles. Just inside the arc, McLaughlin shovels it back outside for Parker, who dribbles right side. Parker down the baseline, lost her balance, out of bounds, turnover. Another turnover, that's 13 for the Homestead Spartans. With 1:57 to go in this third quarter, it's Homestead 43, Pike 38. Parker kind of flicking her wrist there. Looked like she got a little shaken up on that tumble in the last play. Roberson, cross-court pass to Baker. Into the corner, Rasko. High post, White. Down low for Gerard. Floater is way off the mark. Swing the rebound. McLaughlin across the timeline. Spartans up by 5. 1:33 to play in the third. Parker dribbles around to the right wing. Now McLaughlin gets it between the circles. McLaughlin backs it out. A screen from Swing. McLaughlin all the way. Had it poked away out of bounds. It'll stay with Homestead. 1:20 to go in the third. 43-38 Homestead. Spartan basketball on the baseline.
Homestead has to make sure that they be careful when they go inside the paint. Pike likes to get their hands on the basketball. They have to avoid turnovers.
Geely left side for McLaughlin. Down the baseline. McLaughlin inside. Geist open lay-in. Missed it to the left. Rebound Gerard for Pike. Down by 5, 1:08 to go in the third. Baker all the way to the basket. Missed it off the glass. Another open layup. Baker cannot save it before it goes out of bounds. It'll be Homestead basketball. 1:02 to go in the third. 43-38 Homestead. The two teams trade missed layups, and Homestead takes it back.
Have to convert those chances when they arise, and Angela Baker does a great job running the length of the floor, wide open, but she goes straight at the basket instead of going to the right side of the basket, and would have had a better angle if she did that. Instead, couldn't find a way to put it off the glass and in. Homestead got away with one right there.
McLaughlin across the timeline for Homestead. Clock ticks under a minute. Homestead up 5. McLaughlin all the way to the basket. Left the layup short. Rebound tipped around. Rasko gets it for Pike. Rasko on the run for the Red Devils. Rasko spinning around Geely, dribbling to the right side. Fires it left side for Baker. 37 seconds in the third. Homestead up 43-38. White dumps it opposite block. Gerard layup good. First basket for Kennedy Gerard. 43-40 Homestead. 25 seconds to go in the third. McLaughlin between the circles. Right side for Geely. Now Geist between the circles. Driving inside. Geist to the basket. Swatted by Gerard. Up court Roberson. 10 seconds. Roberson, wild shot, no. Offensive rebound. Red Devils. Rasko misses. 7 to shoot. And an offensive foul. Jasmine Geist. Swung the elbows on the rebound. Knocked the Pike Red Devil to the floor. And that will give it to Geist, her third foul. Team second, so Pike ball. 6 to shoot. Some upset Homestead fans behind us, but Pike has the ball. 6 to shoot, down 3.
Lucky that Jasmine Geist didn't get a technical right there. She really threw that elbow back at the Pike Red Devils. It was LaRae Rasko who got the blunt of that elbow, but Jasmine Geist goes to the bench with 3 fouls.
The inbound out to Baker with 3 to shoot. Fires a deep 3, left it short. Graber the rebound, and that will end the third. Things getting chippy here at Bankers Life Fieldhouse. Homestead 43, Pike 40. Buckle up, folks. We got 8 minutes to go, and it's getting physical, and it is a great ball game here for a state championship.
It's looking really good. The finish of this one's going to be close, and Pike is right where they want to be. They have not led for a lot of this game, but they're keeping the game close, and you know this team knows how to win close games. Homestead, they came off a really big win over Northridge last week. Weren't really pressured in that one the length of the way of that game. They were in control of that ball game. So a little different story here tonight. And with Jasmine Geist on the bench with 3 fouls, this team has to step up, and they have up to this point on the glass with Sydney Graber and Haley Swing do a much better job of rebounding the basketball with Jasmine Geist's absence. But this jump shooting of Pike has gotten a little bit better, but the 2-3 zone has made this Pike team a little bit uncomfortable.
Gabe Smith has a report for us from the Homestead Spartan bench. Gabe, what do you have for us?
Guys, communication has started to become an issue down here with the noise that is going around Bankers Life Fieldhouse right now. Coach Parker's having a lot of trouble getting play calls into his players out there. We'll see how that's going to affect the play in the fourth quarter.
All right, thanks, Gabe. 43-40, Homestead leading here at the third quarter. Homestead led by 10 at halftime, or by 3 at halftime. They lead by 3 here at the end of the third. That last play, you're right. Jasmine was fortunate to not get the technical. Really swung the elbows there, and Homestead fans weren't happy, but I'm pretty sure that was the right call.
When you saw the replay, definitely could have seen Jasmine Geist getting a technical foul on that play, and she was just a little frustrated because this Pike team has continued to fight and scrap their way here through 3 quarters of play. They've worked for every rebound, diving on the floor for loose balls. Both teams are going after it. Both teams are also not shooting the ball very well, so it's going to come down to defense. I love it. This is going to be a great atmosphere.
When did the officials start calling it a little tighter? Because they're letting them play, but things are getting a little chippy, and at some point you expect the officials got to get in the way and say, we don't want this to get out of hand.
Well, I'm sure they're going to step in at some point if they need to, but I'd like them to keep not calling these fouls because it makes for a great atmosphere here. It's a fourth quarter, state championship on the line. Homestead up by 3. Both teams putting their heart and soul out there on the floor, leaving no regrets, like Garrett mentioned in the pregame.
8 minutes left in both of these teams' seasons. One will come out as a state champion. The other will go home with the red ribbons. 43-40 Homestead with 7:55 to go. Left wing Haley Swing. Spartans up 3 with the basketball. Graber right side. Errant pass. Tipped out of bounds. It'll stay with Homestead. 7:49 to play. 43-40 Homestead. McLaughlin had 17 in the first half. 3 in that third quarter. But Parker had 8. She has it down the baseline. Parker spins off the glass. Rims out. Rebound Angel Baker for Pike. On the run, Baker driving inside, dumps it down, pass batted away. McLaughlin touches it last out of bounds, and it will stay with Pike. 7:34 to go in the fourth. 43-40 Homestead. McLaughlin shaken up. She's trying to walk it off.
Jada Roberson dove for that ball, and she landed on Carissa McLaughlin's leg. She's going to have to walk that one out. Homestead is going to need her out there on the floor.
She is gimpy. She is trying to play defense, but she is definitely not 100%. Here's Baker, top of the key, spinning inside. The floater misses. Rebound tipped up in the air. Collected by Roberson, off the glass and in. Roberson with 16. 43-42 Homestead with 7:15 to go. McLaughlin with it. Doesn't feel like she has that explosiveness she had earlier. She's taken a few tough tumbles, and now a reach in on Roberson. That'll be her third, team's third. Again, not a lot of fouls called. Homestead is at 5. Pike at 3. 43-42 Homestead. McLaughlin at the half-court stripe. Between the circles, guarded by Roberson. Right side for Geely. Top of the key, swing. Left side, McLaughlin. 3 is blocked by Roberson. Rebound grab by Pike, and a foul. Graber will pick it up. That's her first, team 6th. Pike basketball, 6:55 to go. A chance to take the lead, down 43-42.
I don't know about that one. Both players were going for the ball on the ground, and Sydney Graber gets called for the foul. As you mentioned, Austin, these refs don't want to get this game out of control, and right there, maybe a little response to that.
Fans don't like it on both sides here so far. 6:50 to go, 43-42 Homestead. Baker, top of the key, 2-3 zone from the Spartans. Right side Roberson, drives to the elbow, and an errant pass out of bounds. Miscommunication between Roberson and Baker. Baker's not happy with her teammate. Spartans have it, they're pushing the pace. Left side Parker, 3 ball on its way. That's good! Madison Parker has 17. Spartans up by 4, 46-42 with 6:25 to go. Left wing Baker She's got 12, but has been quiet for a while. Overhead pass into the corner for Rasko. Right side, Rasko bounce pass to Roberson, who drives to the basket, lay-in left short. Offensive rebound, Gerard misses the putback. Rebound tipped around. Diving forward on the floor, it's taken away by Rasko. White, a 3-ball, off the mark. Offensive rebound, Rasko. Baker, left wing 3-ball, no good again. Offensive rebound, White puts it in. 4 chances, and Pike takes advantage. 46-44 Homestead. McLaughlin pulls up 15, knocks it down. Back and forth we go. 5:45 to go. 48-44. Homestead on top. Pike with a basketball. Electric atmosphere here at Bankers Life Fieldhouse. Left wing Roberson. Geely defending. Roberson pokes at her. Down low White. Inside Gerard. Misses the lay-in. Geist the rebound. 5:25 to go. Homestead up 4. Parker on the left wing. She's got the hot hand with 11 points since halftime. Geist inside. Lay-in is good. Spartans up by 6. 50-44 with 5:10 to go. Across the timeline, Roberson. Guarded by Geely. Roberson with it top of the key. Roberson driving inside. Lobs it up for grabs. White gets it. Free throw line jumper. Good. Michaela White has 8 points and a timeout Pike. 4:51 to go. 50-46 Homestead. Back and forth. Offensive firepower. A full timeout for the Pike Red Devils.
Both teams running up and down the floor, and Carissa McLaughlin has shown some real senior leadership and some toughness as well. She gets landed on early on in the third, but after some of these big baskets from Pike, she's gotten up the floor. She understands that Pike's still celebrating a little bit because of that last basket. She gets the ball up the floor, up to Madison Parker, knocks down a huge 3, and then again, Carissa McLaughlin this time takes it to herself, pulls up from 15 and knocks it down. She's leading this team right now, and Coach Parker's not going to take her out the rest of the way. Those senior leaders are looking to bring a state championship back home to Fort Wayne, Indiana for the Homestead Spartans, but it's going to be a tough one. They're going to have to compete for another 4 minutes and 51 seconds. This Pike team's going to stick around the entire time, and those jump shots from Michaela White are huge. When you're able, against a 2-3 zone, to get the ball in top of the key, on top of the free throw line, 15-footer, and knock those down, it's really hard for a team to defend because once you get the ball inside against that zone, the Spartans have to collapse. But when Michaela White's able to stretch the defense like that, it's going to help this Pike team defeat that zone. That's why they're in the ball game still. And again, you saw Pike get 4 chances on 1 possession, and then they finally converted. That cannot happen if you're Homestead the rest of the way. If you want to come out of here with a win, you have to put a body on somebody when you see a shot goes up.
The boys did it 2 years ago. The girls fell short 2 years ago. Can they get the job done tonight? Of course, Pike in their first ever state championship. It's Homestead 50, Pike 46, 4:51 to play in the final quarter. Homestead basketball. Full court press applied here from the Pike Red Devils. Looks like just a flat out man-to-man press. Haley Swing will inbound against it. Swing to McLaughlin. And McLaughlin dips her shoulder and gets it across the timeline. Almost lost her balance, and she's tripped. And a foul call. Lorraine Rasko just picked up her 4th, the team's 4th. And maybe a beneficial call for Homestead. McLaughlin was kind of out of control, but they'll call the trip. Here's Swing. The inbound to McLaughlin, left wing. Corner Parker, a shot fake, a drive. Cut off on the baseline and threw it right to the Red Devils. Angel Baker on the run for Pike, down 4, 4.5 to play. Baker on the left wing, guarded by Kara Geely. Baker lobs, high post for White. Batted away by Geely, but Baker gets it back. Then Geely gets her hand on it again. Baker gets it back again. Rasko, right wing 3. Off the mark. Rebound Haley Swing for Homestead. Swing out to Geely, and Geely will cross the timeline. Geely top of the key. She's played a lot of minutes, has it poked away, diving on the floor. Geely comes away with it. It's taken away by Pike. Here's Roberson, Rasko inside, back out to Baker. Baker driving, fading, And missing the shot and the rebound, Jasmine Geist. 3:52 to go, 50-46 Homestead. Somebody's got to take this team and calm them down. 16 points for Homestead and another trip for the Spartans, and they'll bail them out with a foul on Pike. Again, I think the Spartans are just, for some reason, losing their footing a lot in this game. That'll be a media timeout.
You can't call that foul, I don't think. Homestead, what they're trying to do, they do this a lot. They've done it all season long, is they've lowered their shoulder and they've kind of been slanted when they're dribbling the basketball. When they've gotten contact, they've slipped and fallen to the floor. Usually they get the benefit of the doubt and get the call. They've gotten a couple of them right there, but if you're Pike, you're just playing really tough defensively, and I think Homestead's falling to the ground a little bit too easily right there. And if you're Coach Angela, you're a little bit disappointed in the officiating, but nonetheless, you have to take that and understand what the officials are going to do now. Maybe back off a little bit so you don't get Homestead into the bonus early on. You don't want Homestead to extend this lead from the charity stripe.
Turnovers. Turnovers are killing Homestead right now. 16 turnovers in this game, and that, if Homestead wants to win this game, it's pretty easy. Stop turning the ball over.
It's just sloppy play, and it's been Homestead. The on-ball pressure from Pike has been unbelievable. Yes, they've been called for some fouls, but they've also poked the ball loose, dove on the floor a lot of the time when the ball's loose. This Pike team, they're playing hard. They're playing on the defensive end. Offensively, they're not knocking down some of their shots. But when you're playing that hard in the defensive end, that's going to keep you in ball games, and that's why they're only down 4 points and still have a chance at a state championship.
Homestead on top, 50-46 on the Pike Red Devils. 16 turnovers for Homestead, just 7 for Pike. That's been really the difference in this game. Homestead being dominated in the paint, 32-16. Look at the bench points. 2 total bench points in this game for both teams. They came from Sydney Graber for Homestead.
The role players for both teams really haven't stepped up off the bench, but for Pike, you've seen Jada Roberson step up for this team, a player that really had to take a lot of the offensive load because Angel Baker really didn't show up in that first half of play. But the bench play for both teams has pretty much been non-existent, and you would expect that the rest of the way.
Who steps up and makes a play for both teams? Here's Geist on the right wing. Hands it off for McLaughlin. McLaughlin drives, a lot of contact, and she'll head to the line for 2 free throws. McLaughlin penetrates and gets rewarded with a pair, and that foul will go on. Did not catch who that went on there. That one will go and send McLaughlin to the line for 2 free throws. It will go on Baker. That's her third. McLaughlin hits the first free throw. Quiet second half for her. 17 in the first, 6 in the second. You would imagine she has to get more aggressive.
Well, she has been a little bit aggressive, but with that leg a little gimpy, she hasn't been much of a factor. I think she's worked it off now. It's not been as much of a problem here in the fourth, but she's been distributing the basketball well. She has to take some more shots.
52-46 Homestead. 3:28 to go in the fourth. Baker in the left corner. Pike down 6. Got to make something happen offensively. White. Gerard back to White. Driving inside. Tough shot off the glass and in. Michaela White double figures. 52-48 Homestead. 3:12 to go. Parker, 3 ball. Left it short. 5 of 12 from beyond the arc for Parker. Pike the rebound. Rasco across the timeline. Rasco right side. Baseline. Outside. Baker, 3 ball. Off the mark. Rebound Haley. Swing for Homestead. Swing out to Geely. Swing's done a great job on the board. That's her 10th rebound of the game. McLaughlin across the timeline. Spartans up 4, 2:46 to go. Swing between the circles. Left side, McLaughlin. Top of the key for Madison Parker. Right side, Geely searches inside. It's not there. Brings it back out. Geist, left wing, Parker. Down low for Swing. Turn around, hook shot, good. Spartans up 54-48, 2:26 to go. Across the timeline. Baker to Rasco. 2-3 zone for the Spartans. Rasco, left side, Roberson. Drives, dumps it out to White. Top of the key, Rasco. 3 ball on its way. No good. Geist the rebound. 2:10 to go. Spartans up 54-48. Parker on the left wing. McLaughlin left side. Down low, Geist spins, hooks, and finishes. Geist with 8. Spartans up 56-48 with 1:55 to go. Danger zone for Pike. Rasco, overhead pass left side, Roberson. And Roberson is fouled. Swing will pick it up. That's her second. Team 7th. It'll be the team 6th. So not quite the 1-1 for the Homestead Spartans. Or excuse me, for the Pike Red Devils. The inbound of the baseline, 56-48 Homestead. The inbound lobbed up top to Baker. Baker guarded by Geely. Step back 3 ball. Off the mark. Rebound tipped up. Swing and guys fight for it. The same team. And now a jump ball inside. And the possession arrow will keep it with Pike.
Pike has to do a much better job against this 2-3 zone for Homestead. They've missed a lot of open opportunities from the outside, and that's what's really hurt them as they've fallen into an 8-point deficit. They have to score in a hurry here.
The inbound is left wing for Baker. Down low for White. Spins and knocks it off the glass and in. 6-point game. Timeout Pike. They'll have one left. 56-50. Homestead on top. And a timeout Pike with 1:33 to go in the fourth quarter.
Michaela White has been the most important player out there on the floor for the Red Devils on the offensive side going up against this Homestead 2-3 zone. She's been able to knock down the 15-foot jump shot and down right there going up against Haley Swing 1-on-1. Gets an easy opportunity. And 1:30 left on the clock here in the fourth quarter. Pike is going to probably come out with that full court pressure again. Homestead has to be ready with what they want to do. You cannot try and dribble into pressure if you're Homestead. Move the ball with the pass up the floor. The worst thing you can do right now is turn the ball over quickly and let Pike get an easy look in transition. If you're Pike, if you don't get a turnover within, I think, 45 seconds, then you're going to have to start fouling. Homestead, they haven't been great from the free throw line. You see some nerves from this team, and especially down the stretch here, I think it would behoove Pike to go to foul these Spartans, try and send them to the free throw line.
9 of 14 from the free throw line tonight for the Homestead Spartans. 1 of 2 for Swing, 2 for 3 for Geist. Those are probably your 2 targets. Obviously, you don't want to send McLaughlin, although she's missed 2 tonight. You don't want to send her. You don't want to send Parker to the line for free throws. They're their best shooters. Homestead up 56-50, 93 seconds away from deciding a state champion. Will it be the Pike Red Devils in a comeback effort? Or will it be the Homestead Spartans who have led almost the entire way? Spartans' biggest lead was 8 just a moment ago. It's down to 6. Homestead basketball up 6, 56-50, a minute 33 to go.
Pike coming out with the full court pressure. Homestead has to be ready with what they want to do offensively to get it across half court.
The inbound from Swing. She can run the baseline. Swing into McLaughlin. McLaughlin double team to the backcourt. Across the timeline, McLaughlin splits the double team all the way to the basket. Misses the lay-in. It's tipped out of bounds off of Pike. Homestead gets away with a missed lay-in as the rebound tips out of bounds. Still Homestead ball, minute 22 to play.
Pike had the rebound, 2 players fighting for it on the same side, and they just let it go out of bounds. A big miscue from this Pike team.
Parker inbound, can't get to it, and Coach Parker bails him out with a timeout. He hadn't called any so far in the ball game. So with 1:22 to go, 56-50 Homestead, and the Spartans call a 30-second timeout.
Well, Homestead got bailed out right there on when Pike went to that pressure full court. Carissa McLaughlin got the ball in the corner, and she fought her way through a double team, dribbling the basketball. That's not the way you want to beat the pressure. But Homestead lucky to have Carissa McLaughlin, who is able to have the speed to get past and the dribbling capability to not turn the ball over, because the Homestead Spartans turned their back and just walked up the floor. So Carissa had nobody to throw the ball to, and then she missed the layup. Lucky that Pike bailed them out by hitting the ball out of bounds and then having the timeouts to be able to not get a 5-second call. Homestead has to get a good offensive possession here, hold on to the basketball, run some time off the clock, and force this Red Devil team to foul.
Parker, the inbound for McLaughlin, and a jump ball. Not the best of passes from Parker. It ties up McLaughlin and Rasco. Possession keeps it with Homestead. 1:20 to go. Parker will have to inbound again from the baseline. Parker gets it in for McLaughlin in the corner. McLaughlin tries the baseline, now brings it outside. 1:15 to go. McLaughlin to Parker. Right side for Kara Geely. And Geely is fouled by Baker. That's her fourth. And a 1-and-1 coming up for Kara Geely. Although she's 82% on the season, only 17 attempts. So all of a sudden, these are the biggest free throws of Kara Geely's Homestead career.
Pressure free throws from Kara Geely right here. And if you're Homestead, if you're Coach Parker, send your players back on defense. You don't want them to commit a foul down here. You have to get back on the defensive end.
Across the timeline on the missed free throw from Geely. Roberson to the basket. Finishes. 4-point game, 1:02 to go. McLaughlin double teamed in the backcourt. She's fouled. And that will be it for Jada Roberson. That's her fifth. 18 points for Roberson, but she's done.
That's a big blow for this Pike team. They don't play a lot off of their bench. They have to be able to, and she was the one who made the shot right there, a big one, to cut the lead to 4. Homestead has to hit their free throws. Clutch down the stretch.
Into the game for Pike, Mariah Brown. For the fouled out Jada Roberson, just a sophomore for the Red Devils. Scored 18 points. McLaughlin at the line, 1-and-1. 87% on the year, but 6 of 8 tonight. At the line, McLaughlin the first, good. 25 points for McLaughlin. 5 assists, 3 boards, solid night for McLaughlin. And she has another upcoming, 57-52 Homestead. McLaughlin gets them both. 58-52 Homestead, 59 seconds to go. Pike rolls the ball up to half court, where Rasco picks it up. Right side for Brown, high post White, into the corner, Baker, 3-ball, left it short. White the rebound, no, but a foul. And Michaela White is heading to the free throw line for 2 shots. The foul will go on Madison Parker, that's her first. It's the team's 5th. 2 free throws coming up for Michaela White. Homestead up 58-52, 52 seconds to play.
Angel Baker got a good look from beyond the arc, just couldn't hit.
It was a one. Yeah, I don't know what was going on there.
Shot opportunity right there. Homestead thought it was a 1-and-1.
Not sure what Homestead was thinking there. It was a shooting foul, but nonetheless, they grabbed the rebound. They had it secured, but another shot for White as she missed the first. White on the season, 69% from the line, just missed the first. Second, no good as well. Geely grabs the board for Homestead, hands it off to McLaughlin. 48 seconds to go. Spartans up 58-52. McLaughlin is fouled. Rasco picks it up. That's her 4th. Team's 8th. To make that the team's 9th. 1-and-1 coming up for McLaughlin. 44 seconds to go. Spartans up 58-52. 1-and-1 for Carissa McLaughlin. Leads the team 26 points tonight. Couple of dribbles. Spins the ball. McLaughlin free throw. Good. Big time free throws for McLaughlin. What a game she's had. Put this team on her back in the first half. Has been helped out in the second. But still 27 for McLaughlin. Gets both free throws to go. Spartans up 60-52 with 44 seconds to go. Rasco across the timeline. Rasco, left side, Baker. Baker on the left wing. Pickpocketed by Geely, who gets the steal. Up to swing now, McLaughlin. Half a minute to go. Spartans up 60-52. McLaughlin, right side to Parker. Between the circles, dribbling left side. Parker, double teamed, wraps to McLaughlin, stolen away. Baker on the run. Baker lays it in and a timeout, Pike. Well, Baker keeps it interesting. 15 seconds to go. 60-54 Homestead. It looked like the Spartans were ready to celebrate a state championship. Coach Parker grabs his daughter by the jersey and tells her to sit down. She has struggled tonight with the turnover bug, but nonetheless, Homestead still up by 6. 15 seconds to go. They just got to make free throws, take care of the basketball.
Well, Pike, they looked like they weren't going to foul right there for about 9 seconds, and then they get a steal out on the fast break. Angel Baker with a nice play defensively, but Homestead has to expect the full court pressure. If you're Pike, you would like to foul one of the Homestead's poor free throw shooters, Haley Swing and Jasmine Geist, out there on the floor right now from the Spartans. So if you have to choose, you'd like to foul those two players, and you have to score quickly. This is a team not much of a three-point shooting threat. They have not shot the ball well from outside all game long, so they're going to have to look to get the ball inside using a dribble drive to get a quick shot in transition. But 15 seconds on the clock, you might have to go with the three-point shot with little time left.
That was Parker's 7th turnover of the game, resulting in Baker's 2 points. That was her first points since the third quarter, 60-54 Homestead, 15 seconds to play. Swing the inbound as they wait on the television to get back with us from their commercial break. Swing will inbound against a full court pressure from the Pike Red Devils, who trail by 6. 15 seconds to go. Swing will inbound. They continue to wait on the television.
Homestead has to work as a group to get the ball across the midcourt stripe. They can't let just one player try and dribble it across. Pike will go with the double team. You have to work together.
Swing gets the ball from the official, runs the baseline, gets it into McLaughlin. McLaughlin fouled. And that's going to be it for Lorraine Rasco. That is the senior's 5th foul, the team's 10th. And McLaughlin will have 2 free throws coming up. Rasco will take a seat. Senior playing in her final game. Into the game, Deza Geisler, 13 seconds to go, 4th quarter. 60-54 Homestead. McLaughlin at the line for 2 free throws. Spartans up 6. First on its way. Does not go.
Needed that one. Still a 2-possession game here. If she's able to knock down one, you'd have to think that this game is going to be out of reach for the Pike Red Devils.
McLaughlin's 2nd free throw. Got that one to go. 7-point game. 29 tonight from McLaughlin. In the backcourt, Geisler across the timeline for Brown to the basket. They work it around. Geisler, a 3-ball, rims out. 3 seconds left. McLaughlin, the rebound. The clock hits 0. The Spartans are state champions. They avenged the loss from 2 years ago, and they'll take home a state championship back to Homestead High School for the first time in the girls' basketball history. The Spartans are state champions.
What a game from the Homestead Spartans, competing until the very end against a very stout Pike Red Devil team. But the Spartans come out on top, and just a storybook ending to a great season for this team. And what a game from Carissa McLaughlin, putting the team on her back as she's done all season long, carrying a lot of the offensive load, ending with 29 points on the game, 2 points shy of the 4A state scoring record for a single game. And the Spartans are state champions after a great season. They worked so hard to get to this point, and they deserve all the credit in the world. It's going to make the ride home a little bit more sweet than 2 years ago.
Homestead wins 61-54. They are your 2017 Class 4A girls basketball state champions. The first time in school history a girls basketball team has brought home the big trophy. And they will do it with all smiles as they hold on to win by 7, 61-54. That will transition us into the Moe's Southwest Grill post-game show, and it will be a busy one. We'll get reaction from players, coaches, as well as the two of us as Homestead wins 61-54 for their first ever state championship in girls basketball, avenging the loss from 2 years ago at this building, the Columbus North. But the Spartans get it done, 61-54, led by 29 from the Florida signee, Carissa McLaughlin. Have a day, Carissa.
Parker, have a career.
Parker also had 17. What a way for this senior class to go out. The Spartans win 61-54. They are your 2017 state champions in the class of 4A. not much can be said more than that. Spartans, what a great win.
Yeah, and it started defensively from the get-go. This team, they worked through their troubles, turning the ball over, and they knocked down the shots they needed to in order to seal a victory for this team. And what a great way for these 4 seniors to end up. The goal coming into this season was to avenge the loss in semi-state against Penn a year ago. They do that, and they win here today.
Homestead wins 61-54. The Spartans get their first state championship in school history. Let's go down to Gabe Smith on the sideline.
Coach Parker has found his way over to the net, so we're going to have to get him later. He got away from me.
All right, Gabe wasn't able to get to Coach Parker.
No Coach Parker yet here in the Moe's Southwest Grill postgame show. Understandable. He's celebrating with his team right now. The Spartans win 61-54 over the Pike Red Devils. They're about to do the Mental Attitude Award here between the Homestead Spartans and the Pike Red Devils. It's the Spartans led by 29 points from Carissa McLaughlin. She'll finish her Homestead career as a state champion. What a performance for the Homestead Spartans, and Coach Rod Parker gets the job done. 2 years ago they came here, they fell short, but this time around they get the job done. Of course, this one will feel especially sweet for those seniors who had to work so hard to get the job done.
They did a great job all season long working through adversity, and throughout this postseason they have responded in a big way each and every time out. They turned the ball over a lot here in this one, but it doesn't matter. They win a state title and bring one home for Homestead High School.
And it looks like our recipient of the Patricia L. Roy Mental Attitude Award is just about to be announced here. There's one representative for each school. We'll see who gets it between the Spartans and the Red Devils as they continue to go through the delivery. Again, the Moe's Southwest Grill post-game show. An impressive performance for Homestead. Nonetheless, 61-54 win over the Pike Red Devils for the Homestead Spartans' first ever state championship in girls basketball history. And the winner of the Mental Attitude Award is Madison Parker of the Homestead Spartans. Have a game. Madison Parker, 17 points tonight for the senior, 4 assists, 3 rebounds, 5 of 12. She hit 5 3-pointers on the night, and she is your recipient of the Mental Attitude Award. Deserving for sure. Any of those seniors, very deserving. Parker will take it home, but the Spartans, the story is a 61-54 win here. We're going to take a break in the Moe's Southwest Grill post-game show. We come back, we will continue to have reaction to this state championship win. The Spartans win their first state championship in girls basketball history. Stay tuned. You're listening to the home of Homestead Spartan basketball, The Point, 91 FM.
Moe's Southwest Grill, located at 6739 West Jefferson Boulevard next to Dunkin' Donuts and Baskin Robbins. You can contact Moe's by dialing 969-MOES, or for catering, that number is 969-EATS. Moe's specializes in Southwestern food like burritos, tacos, and nachos, with no microwaves or freezers. You can visit Moe's online at moes.com. Thank you, Moe's, for supporting the Point 91 FM and being a proud sponsor of Homestead High School athletics coverage on our station.
Jimmy John's Gourmet Sandwiches, located at 6727 West Jefferson Boulevard. Menus and online ordering available at jimmyjohns.com. You can also contact for delivery or pickup by phone at 469-7827. Jimmy John's on West Jefferson Boulevard, a proud sponsor of Homestead High School athletics coverage on our station.
Three Rivers Federal Credit Union. When you choose Three Rivers for your financial needs, from car loans to student loans, credit cards, savings accounts, and everything in between, you're doing more than investing in yourself. You're supporting community, innovation, empowerment, education, momentum, culture, progress, and so much more. Let's build a stronger community together. Learn more at threeriversfcu.org/community.
And now let's head back out to the gymnasium for more exciting Homestead Spartan basketball action right here on the Point 91 FM or online at wcyt.org.
Welcome back to Bankers Life Fieldhouse. An excited one here as the Homestead Spartans take home their first ever state championship in girls basketball. 61-54 over the Pike Red Devils. Madison Parker currently receiving the Patricia L. Roy Mental Attitude Award. She's on stage with her family right now. We'll get plenty of interviews, reaction to this win from coaches, players, etc. here on the Moe's Southwest Grill post-game show. And Matt, what a win for Homestead. Of course, the boys got it done 2 years ago. The girls did not. Kind of gave them the motivation to get back here, and this time they do get the job done.
Really special for this group of players. They've done an outstanding job all season long of working up to this point, and they get the job done tonight. Just a great season, and they've worked so hard, especially the senior class over the last 4 years.
Homestead 61, Pike 54 in the 2017 state championship. Let's go to Gabe Smith on the sideline with Coach Parker.
Coach, you are a state champion for the first time in school history in girls basketball. How's it feel?
Oh, it feels great. Greatest feeling there is in sports. I'm so proud of the seniors, so excited for them, the whole program, for all the hard work and effort they put in over the years. And, you know, to cap it all off with the state championship is very gratifying, satisfying.
These 4 seniors have been a huge part of this program over the past couple years. What does this class mean to you?
Well, they've really just set a tone. They're winners, they're great leaders, and they've left our program in great hands moving forward.
It was a very physical game tonight. The referees were not getting a lot of calls down there. Got very physical, especially towards the end of the game. How'd you guys overcome that?
Well, we expected it to be a physical game. We talked about, Pike plays physically. And there were a couple times it was frustrating early on, and I just kept telling our kids we just had to get tougher with the basketball. But we had to fight, and we had to work to get stops, and I thought our kids, when it was all said and done, worked real hard.
Coach, your daughter, Madison Parker, was just named the Mental Attitude Award Mental Attitude Award winner of the year. How special is that for you?
Well, it's extremely special. Madison's an unbelievable player. She's an unbelievable individual, a great leader of our program. And, it's been a tough 18 years, I think, growing up in our household as an athlete with me at the helm, a kitchen table, and in practice. But she's done a great job, very mature young lady, and I'm very proud of her.
All right, thank you, Coach. Congratulations on the win.
Thank you very much.
Back to you, Austin.
Thanks, Gabe. 61-54 again. The buzz around here. The Homestead Spartans have won their first ever girls basketball state championship. The Pike Red Devils being awarded their state runner-up ribbons here as they fall. But nonetheless, their first ever trip here. They gave it their all, and Pike really competed down the stretch, but just free throws and plays made there down the end of the game for Homestead Spartans.
Yeah, this Pike team just couldn't hit enough jump shots to come out of here with the win. And this is a team very young. Angel Baker will be back next season, so this team will be competing. And they could make it back here again. It's very hard to do. But this team has a lot for them moving forward. Coming off a season where they had to get the season canceled because of an altercation in the middle of the season, this team bounced back. Incredible performance from this Pike Red Devil team. All the credit goes out to them and how hard they competed, diving after every loose ball, playing so hard on the defensive end, forcing 17 turnovers. Just couldn't hit enough shots to win the game. It just came down to Homestead being able to shoot the ball a lot better than the Pike Red Devils.
Homestead only shot 39% from the floor, but Pike only 33%. And, of course, the turnovers, Homestead was able to overcome 17 turnovers in this game. Pike only turned the ball over 8 times, but you continue to look at the rebounding battle. That's where Pike normally makes their hay, is the rebounding battle. And Homestead beat him by 3 on the glass today, while at times you saw the time where White got a 4th chance on it. But nonetheless, Homestead did a good job controlling the boards.
And it was a team effort. You look at Jasmine Geis finished with 12 rebounds, Haley Swing with 10, and then Sydney Graber off the bench with 7. So this team worked as a unit. The low post players really stepped up to play. Even though they got beat in the offensive rebounding category, this team wins the total rebounds, and just a special moment for this team. They competed the entire way, and again, another team win for this group. They get the job done, balanced offensively, defensively, and it leads to a Spartan victory in a state championship.
Homestead 61, Pike 54. Homestead got here 2 years ago, but fell short against Columbus North. This year, they avenged that loss with the big win here today over the Pike Red Devils. The Spartans about to get their ribbons and their giant state championship trophy. And once that is done, we will have a few of them join us here on the Moe's Southwest Girl post-game show. But until then, we'll take a quick break. Stay tuned. You're listening to the home of Homestead Spartan basketball, The Point, 91 FM.
Today we decided to walk to school. The light counted. 15, 14.
13?
We took a left on Carroll Street. Danny's smart, but he gets distracted. He realized he forgot his homework. I hope he doesn't have another bad day at school.
When you can see learning and attention issues from their side, you can be on their side. That's why there's Understood.org, a free resource for the parents of the 1 in 5 kids with learning and attention issues. Go from misunderstanding to Understood.org. Brought to you by Understood and the Ad Council.
Three Rivers Federal Credit Union. When you choose Three Rivers for your financial needs, from car loans to student loans, credit cards, savings accounts, and everything in between, you're doing more than investing in yourself. You're supporting community, innovation, empowerment, education, momentum, culture, progress, and so much more. Let's build a stronger community together. Learn more at threeriversfcu.org/community.
Moe's Southwest Grill, located at 6739 West Jefferson Boulevard, next to Dunkin' Donuts, Baskin Robbins. You can contact Moe's by dialing 969-MOE's, or for catering, that number is 969-EATS. Moe's specializes in southwestern food like burritos, tacos, and nachos, with no microwaves or freezers. You can visit Moe's online at moes.com. Thank you, Moe's, for supporting the Point 91 FM and being a proud sponsor of Homestead High School athletics coverage on our station.
Jimmy John's Gourmet Sandwiches, located at 6727 West Jefferson Boulevard. Menus and online ordering available at jimmyjohns.com. You can also contact for delivery or pick up by phone at 469-7827. Jimmy John's on West Jefferson Boulevard, a proud sponsor of Homestead High School athletics coverage on our station.
Marco's Pizza, located at 10345 Illinois Road inside the shops of Scott Road. Marco's specializes in pizza, cheesy bread, subs, salads, and many other menu items. You can place an order for delivery or carry out by calling 625-6800. That number once again is 625-6800. You can also order online at marcos.com. Thank you, Marcos, for supporting the Point 91 FM and being a proud sponsor of Homestead High School athletics coverage on our station.
And now let's head back out to the gymnasium for more exciting Homestead Spartan basketball action, right here on the Point 91 FM or online at wcyt.org.
Welcome back to Bankers Life Fieldhouse, celebrating a Homestead Spartan state championship, their first ever in school history. For the girls basketball program, 61-54. Homestead defeats Pike. They're getting their big trophy on stage right now. We'll have a few of them join us once the photo shoot is over with. But what a game. You look at the stat line, Carissa McLaughlin obviously stands out. 29 points, 6 assists. What a game for the Florida signee. And she definitely helped this team get to where they are today.
Yeah, and she has worked so hard over her 4-year career. She's gotten better each and every year out. And here tonight, put it on full display after a state championship 2 years ago where she really did not shoot the ball well. And she gets 11 free throws here tonight, shoots 8 of 18 from the field. And also the 6 assists you mentioned, just incredible for Carissa McLaughlin, getting everybody involved. And this team would not be where they are today without her ability to score the basketball and play defense. She also had a steal in this one.
Look at that. We've already got state championship T-shirts that Mr. Ginder and Mr. Updegrove, Mr. Kintz are holding.
Do we get one?
I hope so. Girls basketball team continues to go through their photo shoot. I'm sure they're loving this. They're definitely on a high right now as Homestead Spartans win a state championship. They were here 2 years ago. They couldn't get the job done, but this time around, they do. Homestead wins 61-54 over the Pike Red Devils as McLaughlin cuts down the net for the Spartans. She'll have to share that. She doesn't get the whole thing, but she gets to cut it down for the Spartans, and they'll split it up later. But the Spartans win here by 7. McLaughlin had her 29, but Parker was 17. The rebounding, 8 points, 12 rebounds for Jasmine Geis, 5 points, 10 rebounds for Haley Swing, 7 rebounds for Sydney Graber. The big girls did their job getting the rebounds and making the work inside. Second chance points, 13 for Homestead against a very good rebounding team in Pike. I'm sure Coach Parker, when he comes back and looks at the stats, will be happy with that margin.
Yeah, he is. And Garrett mentioned at halftime that he was a little disappointed in his team for the second chance opportunities, but they really rebounded the ball well going up against a Pike team that really competes. And you could tell that Pike was getting a little bit tired at the end there. They played 5 players for the majority of that ball game, and they had to go to their bench late because of foul trouble. But for this Pike team, they ran out of legs, and Homestead took advantage, getting those loose balls, grabbing those rebounds, and it really propelled them to a big victory.
Homestead wins 61-54. Again, their first state championship in girls basketball history here at Homestead. The photo shoot continues for the Spartans. The boys, of course, won 2 years ago, and now the girls team gets to join them with a state championship today. Coach Chris Johnson in attendance. Of course, the boys aren't done yet. They start sectionals next week. Tuesday, they'll take on Southside. And if they win, Shrek, you get to do a little play-by-play. So definitely tune in for that. Matt Schreck's going to get some.
Got to win the first matchup first. You got to take it a game at a time. It's the postseason. But they can learn a lot from this Lady Spartan team, taking care of business in sectionals, then regionals, probably their toughest matchup in the entire postseason, going up against Carmel, a rematch from the regular season. They get the job done there. But, yeah, the boys team, only 3 losses on the season to some of the top teams in the Indiana, so they have what it takes to make a deep run, but it starts with sectional play. They have to go one game at a time.
Now Homestead wins here tonight, 61-54. Again, the program note for the boys. Their sectionals begin on Tuesday. They will head out to Wayne High School to take on the Southside Archers. If they win that game, they will take on Wayne on Friday. Of course,
and you can tune into me.
Yeah, tune into Matt Schreck and Gabe Smith. And, of course, the Huntington North game is the biggest one that everyone's looking forward to. If Homestead and Huntington North can move forward to the championship, that's the game people want to see, a low-scoring battle between the boys' teams there. The girls' team here obviously don't want to take anything away from them. They win 61-54 for a state championship. We're still waiting on their extremely long photo shoot to wrap up. Now the cheerleaders have joined them, so it continues
Can't
to
have
move
enough
forward.
pictures, I guess.
All the
state championship.
The parents want the pictures. The players want the pictures. The coaches want the media wants the. We're all demanding pictures, so I guess we can't get mad at them for that. But
we should take a photo shoot.
I think we're good. But Homestead wins 61-54 over the Pike Red Devils. Going to take one quick break here in the post-game show. We'll be right back with more recap of Homestead State Championship. Stay tuned. You're listening to the home of Homestead Spartan Basketball, The Point, 91 FM.
Today we decided to walk to school. The light counted. 15, 14.
13.
We took a left on Carroll Street. Danny's smart, but he gets distracted. He realized he forgot his homework. I hope he doesn't have another bad day at school.
When you can see learning and attention issues from their side, you can be on their side. That's why there's Understood.org, a free resource for the parents of the 1 in 5 kids with learning and attention issues. Go from misunderstanding to Understood.org. Brought to you by Understood and the Ad Council.
Want to know what I like best about high school sports? I love watching my son run on the field. I love the fact that since he's been playing high school sports, he's making better decisions. And I love knowing that with the proper equipment, education, conditioning, and coaching, high school sports here in Indiana are safer than ever before. And that's something I really love.
This message presented by the Indiana High School Athletic Association and the Indiana Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
And now let's head back out to the gymnasium for more exciting Homestead Spartan basketball action, right here on the Point 91 FM or online at WCYT.org.
Welcome back to Bankers Life Fieldhouse, Moe's Southwest Grill postgame show. We have Carissa McLaughlin with us. Carissa, first off, state championship. What's the feeling right now?
A lot of excitement, knowing that this is exactly what we've been working for. Right when that buzzer rang, it was so surreal. I didn't even realize that we just won a state championship. This is what we've been working for all 4 years that we've been here. Knowing that we finally accomplished it, it's such an incredible feeling. It was such an incredible atmosphere tonight with all of our community coming out and supporting all of us. But I give God all the glory for all of this, and I truly appreciate all of it.
Now I know it was a physical game out there. You took a few tumbles. What were the adjustments that had to be made throughout the game, knowing it was so kind of loosely officiated in a very physical game?
Right. They weren't calling a lot of fouls, and it was getting really chippy down there. But, I thought we all kept our composure, and we did exactly what we needed to. Coach Parker continually told us that we got to stay calm. And, I think we did just that. Madison Parker hit some big shots for us right when we needed them. And, everyone just stepped up, and they were ready to play. And I'm super proud of all my teammates tonight for getting this big win.
How much did the losses 2 years ago right here, last year's loss in semi-state, how much did that motivate you all throughout the season to get this win?
Knowing that we were here 2 years ago, we knew exactly what was going to happen, what was the atmosphere was going to be like. And so coming in today, there weren't as many nerves because we knew kind of what to expect. But, of course, it was a huge game for us. We knew Pike was going to bring us their best. And I thought we came out and we gave them our best. And we were very fortunate enough and blessed to get the win today. And, it was a great day.
Well, congrats on the win. Go celebrate with your teammates. Congrats again.
Thank you.
All right, that was Carissa McLaughlin of the Homestead Spartans. We'll bring in the Mental Attitude Award winner, Madison Parker, here in the Moe's Southwest Grill postgame show. State championship, what's the initial feeling?
It's awesome. It kind of hasn't sunk in a little bit. We worked so hard for this, and it was a big goal of ours. So to be here now and to get the job done is pretty cool.
Now, I know we just watched you walk up stage, get the Mental Attitude Award. What does that mean to you personally to be receiving that award?
It means a lot to me, but it also means a lot to our team, because I think all of our team shows a lot of character, a lot of mental toughness, a lot of mental attitude. So, to be up there, it means a lot to me, but also I think to our school and what our program is and what our program is built up.
And obviously in a state championship, you can't go without adversity. Pike took a few leads there in the second half. What was Coach Parker's message to you guys in timeouts when things were starting to get close?
He was talking about, just keep chipping away. On the defensive end, we had to make sure they didn't get any second chance points, any easy shots. And on the offensive end, just keep doing our thing. And I thought that paid off.
As a senior, does it feel more special because you've lost the past couple years? Now being a senior, you finally get to say, I got the state championship.
For sure. This has been a goal, for us since we were freshmen, and we fell short 2 years ago and last year as well. So to be back here as a senior and to finish off our career on a win is just amazing.
Well, congrats on the win. Go celebrate with your team and have fun tonight.
All right, thank you.
That was Madison Parker of the Homestead Spartans, and we are now joined in rapid fire on the Moe's Southwest Grill postgame show by Taryn Klein. Taryn, first question, I'm asking everyone, state championship, what's the feeling?
I'm speechless. We worked hard for this all season, and it finally paid off, and it's a great feeling.
Now, a lot of times in that game, Pike seemed to come back in the game, and you guys seemed to weather the storm. What worked successfully for you guys to continue? Every time they made a run, you guys seemed to answer.
We just stayed composed and stayed mature like we've been preaching all year. We kept working as a team and, stayed positive, and we knew that it'd fall in our hands, hopefully, and we just kept pushing it, and it worked out.
Now, as a team, you guys going up against Angel Baker, their leading scorer coming into the ball game, you had matched up with her early on, and you limit her to 5 of 25 shooting. What did you guys do so successfully to keep her under wraps?
Kara and I guarded her most of the game, and we just had to stay low. She has a good hesitation dribble, and we knew that she'd get some shots off. But as long as we stayed low and didn't let her penetrate too much, we knew she was going to score, but we had to get those stops when it was needed, and we did that. And
Homestead Spartans. Carrie, you came off the bench into this game. Underclassmen, you hadn't been here the first time. What were the nerves and the jitters like coming to the ball game?
My nerves were really high at first, but once we got into the game, they kind of settled down, and all my teammates were just like, oh, this is just another game. We just have to come out and do our thing.
Obviously, state championship, I know you're probably on a high right now. What does it feel like to you, initial thoughts?
This is the best day of my life. We're all so excited, and the energy is just amazing.
Now, I know you and Taryn kind of had the defensive assignment on Angel Baker. What did you guys do that was so successful against her?
Our main goal with her was to just stop her penetration and to not get our hands up in her face, to not let her shoot a wide open three.
Well, hey, congrats on the win. Go celebrate with your teammates. Great job tonight.
Thank you so much.
That was Kara Keeley of the Homestead Spartans. Next up here in our train of interviews is Jasmine Geist. Jasmine, first off, state championship, what does it feel like?
It's a great feeling. The adrenaline going through my body, it hasn't really hit me yet, but we're ready to go back to the hotel and party it up a little bit.
Obviously, a lot of times there in that game, Pike seemed to battle back, take the lead. You guys answered. What was so successful there late in the game that helped you pull away?
We just weathered the storms, and we were very mature when they took each run. So we had to stay mature and positive about it and get the stops that we needed to get.
All game long, you were working down low, finishing the game with 12 rebounds. What's your mentality on the low post when a shot goes up?
First, when a shot goes up, I got to get a body on someone. I got to box them out, get them 6 inches behind me, and I got to keep the ball in front of me and go get the rebound.
And obviously, this is a team in Pike that averaged 38 rebounds a game, and you guys actually out-rebounded them. What was so successful on that part of the game?
During practice this week, it was about containing and rebounding, and we worked a lot on rebounding, and so that helped us for this game.
Well, hey, congrats on the win. Go celebrate with your teammates. Have some fun tonight.
Thank you.
All right, that was Jasmine Geis of the Homestead Spartans, and our train of interviews has ended for the moment. Spartans win here 61-54 over the Pike Red Devils for the first state championship in school history. What a performance. And now that we're at this point, I think it's safe to say who our most Southwest Girl Hungers player of the game is, and I'm going to let you do it this time. You can give it to the whole team. I'm going to give you permission if you want.
Well, yes, the whole team performed well, but I'm going to give it to Carissa McLaughlin. She's been such a vital part of this team her entire career here, scoring 29 points here tonight. She's going to be the most Southwest Girl Hungers player of the game. She's the senior leader that has carried a lot of the offensive responsibility, and she gets the job done here for her team tonight. And you can tell this whole team is elated to be state champions, and they worked hard for 32 minutes and got the job done against a feisty Pike team.
It will be a long night for these Spartans as they'll celebrate. They're staying the night here in Indianapolis, and I'm sure they're going to enjoy this one for a long time. They finally get it done. State championship coming back to Homestead, 61-54 over the Pike Red Devils. Final game of the girls' basketball season. Hard to believe it flew by like that, but want to send out a few thank yous, obviously, to our board ops back in the studio all season. Andy Dunn, Cameron Kruger, Evan Cole. Of course, there's more that have helped out with these broadcasts. For our sideline reporters, Gabe Smith, Garrett Willis. For Mr. Matt Schreck standing to my right. For Adam Schenkel, who's helped drive us around everywhere. I think we both owe a thank you to our parents for letting us do this all year. And, of course, thanks to the fans and the listeners. The listeners are what we're here for. Obviously, we wouldn't be doing this if we didn't have the listeners. So thanks to those who tuned in each and every night and made our job a lot of fun. And thanks to the girls' basketball team who made it a lot of fun. Capping my 4 years off with a state championship, it's quite a great feeling. So I just want to thank everybody out there. Parting words, Matt, as we head home.
We're going to have to give a thank you to you, Austin, just working all 4 years here for this girls' basketball team, doing a majority of these games play-by-play, providing action for all the listeners and providing the excitement of the game, giving it to the people at home listening. Just a thank you to you, and again, thank you to the players and everybody. It's been a fun ride to watch this team perform this season, one of the best in girls basketball history. These 4 seniors leading the way for this group. Coach Parker, really just outstanding performance from this team, performing at the highest level and getting the job done when they needed to.
Well, obviously, we're going to hand it to you and the Garrett with the reins next year. I feel pretty confident handing the reins off to you guys in the future, as you guys will take over my job next year. But it's been a fun 4 years, and obviously all the thank yous out there. It's going to wrap things up, but the boys' season is not over yet. We will have boys' sectionals on Tuesday, and if they win Friday, if they win Saturday, Matt will take a few of those games as the Spartans keep winning, but obviously they got to win on Tuesday night. They'll take on Southside. Hopefully we get a few more boys' games to go here. But the girls' season complete, and they end it as only one team can do. State champions in the class of 4A. 61-54 over the Pike Red Devils. Again, thanks to our board op today, Andy Dunn back in the studio. For Gabe Smith, Garrett Willis, and Matt Schreck, I'm Austin Render. Final score, Homestead 61, Pike 54. Thanks for listening to another broadcast and another season of Homestead Lady Spartan Basketball on the Point 91 FM. Have a great evening. We'll see you next time.
The Point is WCYT Lafayette Township, Fort Wayne, a broadcast service of Homestead High School, 91.1 FM and online at WCYT.org. The Point 91 FM, where music is the point.